hopes of the Kings after the disappointment of last night, fueled in part by the return of Malik Monk, didn't materialize for the Kings tonight. They end up getting spanked big time. 133-104 is the final. New York improves their record to 41-23. Kings are now just 2 games over 500. As we mentioned, they're still in the 9th spot, but only 1 game in front of Dallas, and now 2 full games behind the LA Clippers.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. As the Kings did not take us to a victory. We did not see a beam. And look, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Allen's going to be ticked off, and Allen's going to be ready to just rip into the Kings for how they did not come to play. And I got to tell you, it's not that I don't want to. It's simply that I just don't know what it will help at this point. When I look at this Sacramento Kings team, this is what we knew was coming at some point. I know that there was no Jalen Brunson, but the Kings, for whatever the reason is, they just forget how to play. Doesn't matter who is on the Kings team. They just forget how to play basketball when the Knicks either come to town or they go to New York. It is incredible. It is fascinating that they just forget how to play basketball. It truly doesn't matter. They probably could have sat Karl Anthony Towns, and the Kings would have found a way to lose. They could have sat OG Anunoby. The Kings would have found a way to lose. Precious Achiuwa would have went off for 15. So to me, this is exactly why the whole time people, are in my mentions on social media, the text line, people calling in. Oh, well, you're being too negative. They played a good game. If they just do this, they just do that. You cannot waste good performances. You cannot waste 44 minutes from Keegan on a night, 47 minutes from Keegan on another night. DeMar DeRozan at 35 years old playing 40-plus minutes game after game after game. You can't waste those performances. And they did. So the way I feel is that obviously a stinker was coming. A stinker was coming at some point. And the stinker was last night. The hope is that once the stinker comes, you already have something to rest your hat on. That Clippers game. Hey, well, we got this W. Yeah, we have an opportunity. And maybe you are more motivated, right? I love talking about the human part of all this. Maybe you're more motivated. Hey, we just won on a buzzer beater from Zach LaVine. Or better yet, we didn't blow the game on an egregious DeMar DeRozan 3. Now let's try to stack up these W's and take advantage. We get Malik Monk coming back. No Jalen Brunson. We haven't beat the Knicks since before Allen was a father. Let's do it. But this stuff snowballs. And that's exactly what we saw last night. We thought that the Kings, there was going to be a way for them to lose that game to the Nuggets. Obviously, you beat the Spurs, who are terrible, by the way. And after that, come back and figure things out against the Knicks, who turn every game into a rock fight, and they have not played well against this team. We thought that was going to be a thing. So it can come off as negative. It could come off as positive. It doesn't matter. This is what I try to tell people. The numbers are the numbers. How I view this team and how you view this team doesn't really matter. It's about standings. I had somebody yesterday reply to me. They said, man, have you not been watching the games? They said, man, have you not been watching the games, bro? They're playing great. I said, I'm watching the standings, bro, and they're not moving. Thank the good Lord above that the Suns lost again and the Blazers lost. By the way, they lost to the Warriors. So I was actually going to go Thursday to the Warriors game. I'm not wasting my time. Y'all know I got a young kid. I was going to, hey, babe, I'm going to go to the Warrior game. I am not driving 2 hours for the Kings to lay down.
Oh, that Friday show would be a disaster. You getting home at 1:30 a.m.
Even if they win, it wouldn't be worth it. It would not be worth it to me. This is from Chris Biederman. And, it's always nice when somebody can put into words and numbers what you keep feeling. So a lot of people have been hanging there, and this is not about Doug Christie. This is just the reality, right? A lot of people have been hanging their hat on the record. Look at the record, and I know Doug Christie's wins include wins in Boston, right? A win in Houston, missing top players. You were missing De'Aaron. Wins in Golden State before Jimmy Butler, but wins at Golden State. I understand all that. But when I'm thinking, the record looks good, but what am I missing here? What am I missing? Chris Biederman said this. The Kings fall to 12-21 against teams above 500, which is worse than every team in the top 10 of the West standings except the 10 seed Mavericks at 13-24. Sacramento is 21-10 against the teams below 500. Now, I will say this. I appreciate that the Kings are, for the most part, taking care of business against teams below 500 because that's been an issue as well. But there's something to be said about beating teams that are actually contenders in the league. So from the top down, I think that everyone that is a part of the Kings organization, remember when Giannis said, we need to be washing our clothes different. We need everything we need to do needs to be different. If you work, and people were making jokes about what does the laundry person have to do with the Bucks winning? But Giannis was trying to illustrate we just need a change from the top down. We need to view things differently. So from the owner and how he takes care of his business, yeah, I said it, from how he takes care of his business to the upper management, how they take care of their business, how they handle the media, how they handle national headlines, how they handle all this stuff. At some point, you have to understand that you are not good enough to behave the way that you behave. You're not. You're not a team that has a winning pedigree. You can sit there. You can have the random quarterbacks sit. I don't know. I still don't know what the hell they were doing there. I don't know if there's a quarterback coach up there. I have no clue. You can sit there. You can have random quarterbacks. Mayo Man, Will Levis throw footballs in the crowd. But at the end of the day, you are being laughed at. You are being laughed at. You got PJ Tucker earning a full contract just from hyping up guys that have not had to play basketball on the offensive end all year because of Jalen Brunson, besides Karl Anthony Towns. That's it. That's it. They come to Sacramento, and you can't even make it a rock fight. You got blown out the building. And Doug Christie's going to say the same things. Oh, that's not us. I saw somebody screenshot Malik Monk. Oh, well, we got punked. We can't get punked again. That was 2 weeks ago. That was last week. And then he got punked again. They got punked again. So you need to look in the mirror at some point and figure out, what are we actually doing? Like a relationship, as I always say, what are we actually doing? Are you going to move in? Are we going to have kids? Are we going to get engaged? Let's not waste anybody's time, because the person whose time that they're wasting is everybody that's listening to this show right now. And hell, maybe you're listening to something else. Anybody that has ever purchased something that says Sacramento Kings on it, you are wasting their time. You went out there and wasted everyone's time. You got New York Knicks fans in there who have never been to New York. Honestly, like I said, I spent time talking to other people, because there's no point in paying attention to the game. I'll pay attention if they figure it out. And I left early. I spent time talking to people. I truly had no clue in Golden One, that beautiful arena. It was hard for me to tell the difference as to when the Knicks scored and when the Kings scored. That's how bad it was. So, a lot of people, I'm not going to sit here and blow out your eardrums screaming and because you know what, honestly, they're not worth it. They're not worth it. It's time to change our expectations. And this team needs to dig deep. Management needs to dig deep. Ownership needs to dig deep and figure out what in the hell they're actually doing. Because right now, they're wasting everyone's time and they're wasting everyone's money with this facade that they're actually competing. The Knicks saw the Kings, even with Malik Monk playing. And you know what they thought? Oh, we got food tonight. We got food. This is one we need to get, boys. This is what they said in your locker room. This is what they said in your locker room. Oh, we got food tonight, boys. We could get these guys. They're going to take a bunch of contested jump shots for 4 quarters. All we got to do is get them off their spot. And we know they can't defend. OG, go do your thing, Playboy. OG, go do your thing. 3 guys, 20 or more points. OG Anunoby, 24 or more. Karl Anthony Towns, 26. Miles McBride, 20. Miles McBride, I don't even know who he looked like the next coming of, but he looked like the next elite guard in the league. And maybe he is. I talked about Mikal Bridges. He got benched for Miles McBride. So maybe that's part of it. Oh, by the way, Mikal Bridges, 15 points. He remembered how to shoot again. 6 for 10 from the field. Josh Hart, somehow the only thing that didn't happen last night was Josh Hart and his rebounds. But instead, he found a way to drop 18 points. Josh Hart was 4 for 6 from 3. We need a sub. That is a retirable offense to allow Josh Hart to go 4 for 6 from 3-point range. But like I said, I'm changing expectations. We got 4 hours. The ebbs and flows of the show, the ebbs and flows of the Sacramento Kings. It's not over yet, but it's time to put up or shut up. Allen Stiles, Sackdown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with 2 people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. Not guaranteed.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Spins with a screen from Isaac Jones, steps into the 3, front rim short, no good. Malik yet to score in his return to action. Here are the Knicks with a long lead pass to front, coming down the lane. The dish goes to Hart. He gets the flush with 3.5 seconds to go. And the Kings are getting run right out of the building here in this first quarter.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
That's right, G-Man. The Kings, they did get blown out of the building. And, I had a lot to say in that first segment. I hope I don't get in trouble, but hey, it is what it is.
You're clear.
You know, I am thinking, though, if we're trying to be optimistic, sometimes you got to get your ass whooped, right? And maybe, just maybe, the facade can go away. You are not good enough, right? And I think that's why I wasn't backing down to everyone that wanted to do the moral victory thing in Denver. And I heard Drape's takes, yesterday. I already knew what he was going to say. I was encouraged. Yeah, cool. But they're losses, right? They're losses. So now you have nothing to show for it, and a stinker was bound to happen. And that's what happened last night, the stinker, which happens. So that's why, to me, I was not really that. I was a bit surprised because, they've been so close. But that's not really how it works, right? You don't, they're so close to win, they're going to get over the top. No, you just do or you don't. So when you've already lost to the Nuggets and then you've lost to the Clippers, to me, at some point, reality was going to set in. And just from a legs point of view, Malik was coming back from injury. He actually had to leave the game again. And we have some sound on that. So he had to leave the game again. And when he jumped up for that dunk, he's just so aggressive in everything he does. I'm thinking, man, I hope that toe is good. And then he had to get checked out again. So last night was not even egregious to me. It's just the process and how we got there. But maybe, just maybe, the collective we, because I'm part of it, right? I'll convince myself. I didn't feel like I was a part of it during the moral victory stuff for Denver and the Clippers, but maybe the collective we can look at this team and say, you're not good enough. That's why you didn't win, right? You can talk about, the foul this. No, let's not forget. He got hit on the arm, and then the next play, DeMar threw up a wedgie. It was damn near a wedgie, okay? In Denver, you controlled the whole game. And then the refs, no. They lost the game. Did the refs help? No. But how many games do we think Denver feels like Jokic has been whacked? How many games do we feel like other teams have been jobbed by the refs? They still win those games. So we lived in this world where it was, we're close. But you didn't do it. And this idea that they're just going to be able to keep churning out really, really great efforts, it's not realistic. So to me, last night was just more of an indication of why I was so upset after the Denver game. And people told me to chill out. Why I was upset after the Clippers game. And people told me to chill out. Because last night was always going to arrive. But maybe, just maybe now, we can all stop living in this facade of, they're playing good basketball. No. They got their ass beat last night. And maybe now they can go back to the drawing board with 18 games left and figure out how to either get out of the 9 seed or control their mentals so that they can get out of the 9 seed and get into the playoffs. Those are the only options. Because, no, I'm not worried about the 10 seed, and I'm definitely not worried about falling out of it. But they need to figure out now on Thursday, like I said, I'm not wasting my time going out to the Bay just so I can get clowned by my old buddies. Hell no, I'm not going. And I don't feel like dealing with 2 hours in traffic. But it starts on Thursday. What are I believe, what was it, Kyle? The Warriors are 13-2 since acquiring Jimmy Butler.
12-1 when Jimmy plays.
That's what I'm saying. The good news is, and this, I was just watching, what is it called? Run. I think it's called Run on Netflix. And no, you know what? I was watching the Olympics show when what was it called? Golden Court on Netflix.
I don't know.
With Team USA. It's about Team USA.
Oh, the basketball one?
That's right. And they were following Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who went to watch the 100-meter dash. And what Shai talked about was you know, it's crazy because I can have a bad game and just get back on the horse the next day. These guys and gals, as they're running and competing in the Olympics, you train for 4 years. You train for 4 years, and that's it. Unless you're Shaun White and you do summer and winter. But
or
you
that guy from Tonga.
You got 4 years to show who you are. The good news is the Kings can show us and shut people like me up who they are against the hottest team in the NBA. Literally, you have an opportunity to do the funniest thing possible, Sacramento. And you got a couple days, right? Because they don't play till Thursday. So they got today, they got tomorrow to really just sit in this. Just sit in this nastiness that they've conjured up. Some of it being good, right? They're sitting in the Denver mess. They're sitting in what they did against the Spurs. They're sitting against what happened in LA. Now they're sitting against the slop of last night. We're going to figure out who they are. And Doug Christie and his motivational ways, where does that fit in? I'll tell you this much. You're starting to hear some of the same things. You are. And that's just that's what happens with coaches. You hear them, they do more availability. You start hearing some of the same things. So if I'm hearing the same things, that means the guys are hearing the same things. How is that registering with them? We are going to find out on Thursday. We got time for that, though. We got time. You know, where I'm at right now is I don't necessarily want to sit there and look at the box score. We know what happened. They got beat down. They got destroyed. You know, and again, they were due. The problem isn't the fact that they had a stinker. The problem is that they lost the games where they played really well. This idea that they're just going to continue to play well. This isn't 2K. These guys have real legs. They have real families. There's a lot going on. DeMar DeRozan is very open about the mental side of things. You lose that game. Yeah, you watched it a little bit with the game against the Spurs, but the Spurs stink. You lose that game to Denver. You barely beat you barely beat the Spurs. Or no, you beat the Spurs. And then you lose to the Clippers. So that stuff wears on you. And then you got a back-to-back. Mentally, physically, it wears on you. Last night, maybe that the full-blown beatdown was expected, but a letdown was expected at some point. Some point. So they have a couple days to figure this thing out. And we're going to see if they're able to figure it out very, very soon. We're going to lighten the mood a little bit with the biggest winner of the night on the other side. At least someone was able to take care of business. Too bad it wasn't someone on the Sacramento Kings roster. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. Your lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the best truck on the market, the 2025 Ram 1500. And that's not an exaggeration. It's proven. It's the 7th time Ram has won the Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Connor Driver named it one of its 10 best vehicles of 2025, giving it a 10 out of 10. And at JD Power, it's number 1 when it comes to brand vehicle quality. And hey, yeah, all that's great. But where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really separates themselves from the pack is their car buying experience. Come on in and see for yourself why they say it's where a handshake still means something.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. When buying a new grill, every detail matters. For March, grab a $149 gift with purchase of every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill, including a pizza lover starter kit and much more. More March savings include up to $79 off Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel that boasts quality. See how Napoleon will help you achieve the perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today with your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
And now a brief history of the garage door. Garage doors could date back to 450 BC when chariots were stored in gatehouses. Here in the States, they became a thing around the start of the 20th century. You could find a float over door in a catalog way back in 1906. National Garage Door has been around since 1974. They're family owned and operated, so you can trust them to solve any garage door issues you may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door Service is their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They are the nation's BSE broken spring experts. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help, whether it's a garage door tune-up, repair, or replacement you need. They'll take care of you at National Garage Door. 916-638-4554. That's 916-638-4554. National Garage Door.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Let's open up the phone lines. 916-339-1140. How you feeling about the Sacramento Kings? Look, I can tell by the Sack Chat and the text line, this one hurt. This one hurt for a lot of people, and of course it did. You know, you are competitive in games, and it at least gives you some hope. And, we're going to get over the hump. We're going to get over the hump. And I do think that there are situations where that happens. But when you are missing somebody like Domantas Sabonis, you're also in survival mode, and you get up for certain teams and you have to walk away with something. And the Kings didn't, right? They got up for that Nuggets game. They got up for that Clippers game, and they walked away with nothing. This Knicks game, no Jalen Brunson, second half of a back-to-back. Malik's coming back. And look, I'm to the point now, fine, I'll do it. I put it in the rundown. We're going to talk about the starting lineup. That's how bad it is.
What?
We are going. I know
Allen,
I said I wouldn't do it.
It's on the banned list. We can't.
Well, it's unbanned.
No, you're not allowed to. It's Cam Johnson in the starting lineup.
No,
We're not
Cam
allowed
Johnson is not leaving the banned list, but this one, we have no choice. We have no choice. I got to hang out with my buddy. My buddy stopped by yesterday in his Knicks gear. I'm telling you, I don't know. We need to make a power list because the Pelicans thing ended. You know what I'm saying? They lost 6 times to the Pelicans last season, but they avenged it. I know it's a lot of East Coast teams, but of the last, 5 years, we need to make a power ranking of teams that own the Kings because the Knicks are very high on that list.
I think it's them. It's Milwaukee Bucks.
Is it the Celtics?
No, but they beat the Celtics
That's
this
right.
year.
Celtics are off the list now.
Yeah. So this is the interesting one. I just, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but they were 10-0 against, or Sabonis was 10-0 against Anthony Davis.
Right.
And then this year they went 0-4.
Right. Lakers aren't on the list, I wouldn't say.
But now Anthony Davis isn't on the Lakers anymore.
Yeah.
So
Lakers aren't on the list. These are teams, like I said, I had friends come up last year, and the Knicks were in town. They came up from Oakland, I got hooked up with tickets, and the Kings got absolutely destroyed. Again, no beam. When is the last time there was a beam playing the Knicks? Probably before we were even doing the beam. So the Knicks, they are probably 1 or 2 on that list. The Knicks own the Kings.
there's one team that I think they haven't beaten in the Arco since they were at Arco. I can't remember if it's the Bucks or someone else, but I feel like Bucks, Knicks, Celtics, and 76ers are kind of your winners.
Oh, and by the way, this is wearing on everyone, including Coach Doug Christie. We got some sound that we'll play a little bit later where some of the narratives that are being thrown around. Look, I was in the building and, you can find those interviews, so it's not like I'm hiding anything, but it's my opinion that I'm probably going to be a bit careful of in how he is responding to some of these questions. The great Matt George asked a question, and someone's going to say I'm reaching, that's fine, but you don't know the whole story because I was in there. Not just this answer, because this is in the post game, even in the pregame, this stuff is wearing on the guys. This stretch, and again, I'm not going to go through March for the 1,000th time, but this stuff is wearing on the Kings, and we're just getting started. We are literally just getting started here.
You're talking about of March?
Yes.
Okay.
There is some meat coming. This was a healthy, hearty appetizer, but there is some meat coming.
We have the meat.
So here's kind of my optimistic standpoint. And in the first segment, I was very relieved to hear you're finally adjusting expectations. Because, for me, I adjusted expectations going into the Fox trade. Like I said, coming out of the All-Star break, they're going to be in the 9-10 game. That's what's going to end up happening.
And I never thought they'd be in the 6th seed. I thought, and they still can. I'd rather be surprised than expect. I think that there was a time where I pretty close to maybe expected them to get the 8th seed. I'm at the point now, just based on what March has in store, where I would probably be surprised if they got the 8th seed. No more. I'm not expecting it.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised.
They're
I'm expecting the 9 seed.
They're 3 games back with 18 to play with the second hardest schedule in the league, right? It would take a lot to get there. And I kind of felt that way before. I said Dallas is probably the team they could jump. This was before the Kyrie injury.
Mm-hmm.
Then we felt more confident they would jump Dallas. So I felt like they were going to be in the 9-10 game. In our final countdown predictions we did while you were at Doco, I said they're going to be in the 9-10 game. So I feel like my expectations were there. I'm glad you're kind of adjusting expectations a little bit now because I feel like it'll be healthier for you.
Yeah, and maybe they could go on a run. We're just, at this point, we're just reading the tea leaves here.
For sure. My kind of optimistic take on the game yesterday is this. We said before, Keegan Murray played his most minutes of the season against the Clippers. DeMar DeRozan played 42.5 minutes against the Nuggets and 40 minutes in overtime against the Clippers.
Right.
Valanciunas played 41 minutes. Zach LaVine played 44 minutes. Those dudes' legs were going to be exhausted going into that game. And if this were a game in November, we would everyone at the station would come in here and say things like, this was a scheduled loss. We had tired legs. There was no Domantas Sabonis and no Jake LaRavia. Malik is battling the toe injury. If this were November, we all would have come in and said all the same things. But it's only because it's March and only because we are in a battle for the 8 seed where they just gave up the most important game of the year on a Kawhi Leonard triple bounce buzzer beater. It's only because of those things that people are coming in here and feeling as dejected, because this was essentially a road back-to-back. They had to travel home at midnight after playing an overtime game against the Clippers, and then they lost. And I didn't think they'd lose by 30, but I had a feeling they'd probably lose.
Right. And, you look at what this team has had to deal with, right? And what's funny, as we keep bringing up, and again, this is not real life, and this is not the reality, but if you actually look at the timeline, when you make a move like this, right? So they go out, they get DeMar DeRozan, and pretty early in DeMar DeRozan's tenure, the roster isn't even 100%. Malik Monk is injured. DeMar DeRozan misses some time. Domantas Sabonis misses some time. So early on, you had that, right? Early on, you had that going on. Then you get healthy for a bit, and the De'Aaron Fox drama starts. Then after the De'Aaron Fox drama, or during the De'Aaron Fox drama, Mike Brown gets fired. Right? Mike Brown gets fired. After Mike Brown gets fired, De'Aaron Fox is actually injured. Things kind of find their way. That's when they go on the 7-game winning streak. But we now know, it turns out that De'Aaron Fox didn't really care. He still wanted out. Okay? So then you have the De'Aaron Fox drama. Coming off of the De'Aaron Fox drama, you make the moves you made. So in reality, Kyle, and this could be copium to the max, but in reality, I'm looking here, the season started in October, right? Late October. So the season starts late October, and obviously the trade deadline was what? Early February.
The Fox trade was February 2nd.
Okay, so early February. So if you actually look at when everyone got settled in, this actually, we keep saying, oh, November. This team is actually in November.
Yes.
This team, as presently constructed, their transitional period, right, is actually in November. The problem is it's March. So we're upset at this team for their timeline when the timeline never made sense. And that's why Nick is texting me on the text line saying, don't get in trouble, talking about the Kings and, who is in places of power with the Kings. But the reality is this team was never set up to succeed.
Yes, which is why it was crazy that they made the trade they did at the deadline instead of trading for a John Collins, trading for a Jonas Valanciunas, and trying to compete with the group that had been playing together all season, but that's the direction they chose.
So we're looking at this team because it's March, but this team is actually in November. This team, if you base it on the moves that were made, this isn't around the edges. This isn't PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, right? This is your number one option. This is your catalyst on the team. Your head coach being changed, okay? Then obviously you deal with injury, and now you're dealing with more injury. So this is actually November. But we're, based on the situation that we've been put in as fans and as media, and the team have to operate and expect something that's completely unrealistic. It's just completely unrealistic. Maybe they'll still overcome, but the expectation, it's just, it needs to change. All right, I do want to get into some of this sound. We have Christie's cuts, and then we'll spend some time on the specific point that Doug Christie wanted to make and how this is just wearing on the guys, man. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on that.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line. Additional terms apply for J.D. Power 2024 award information. Visit jdpower.com/awards.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Here's a drive by Bridges, feeds a pass to the left corner, touch pass to Cat, steps back for three and scores it. Well done by New York. So now they've made 8 triples in this quarter. Here's Keon to try to beat the buzzer. It's no good on that three-point attempt.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Allen. This is from Jeff Allen. We are 33-31. 2 games over 500. Do you know any good team that is happy to be so average? We're not that good, and we keep hoping that things will turn around. So insane. Jeff, well, all we have is hope, Jeff. All we have is hope. I mean, do I actually think that the Kings are going to go on a run? I mean, some things would have to fall in their way. You know, honestly, I think all this comes down to is, number one, like I said before the break, this timeline, this team is a November team as far as the time that they've had together. So there's that part of it. And also, I don't know why the NBA continues, you know, there's some people talking about the refs, and I'm not, today is not the day to complain about the refs when you get beat down by 30. But I do hate that for 2 seasons consistently, the Kings, their March, April has been a complete nightmare. Complete nightmare. And I know each team has ups and downs, but you know, that is historically, you would argue, where teams are obviously they're trying to gear up for the playoffs, maybe trying to, you know, get some guys some rest, or they're in the middle of a stretch. Guys are banged up. I mean, look around the league right now. So you can make the argument as to, you know, hey, at least you did get to face the Knicks without Jalen Brunson. So you still lost by 30 with no Jalen Brunson. So what are you complaining about? You got to face the Nuggets without Aaron Gordon. You got to face the Clippers without Norman Powell. So not much to complain about. The problem is the Kings weren't healthy either. So if I had a gripe, it would be less about the refs, you know, game to game. I get it, but it honestly would be about the schedule 2 years in a row, just really beaten down. Because I think last season the Kings had that, you know, their typical East Coast trip with the Knicks and the Celtics. And that was, I know for a fact that Malik and Kevin Huerter weren't playing. So that's more of my gripe. Can we more evenly disperse this stuff so that every March and April isn't just a complete bloodbath? So that is one of the gripes that I have with the league right now. And maybe next year or next season will be the case. But yeah, 2 years in a row where it's been pretty rough in terms of ending the season. And everybody knows that during the end of the season, a lot of teams are dealing with being dinged up and things like that. So that is, if I had a gripe that goes outside of the court, that would be the gripe, because it just feels like, you know, the Kings just continue to have really tough March and April pieces of the season. I am so over the ISO ball, says UPS Chris. It's not fun to watch at all. If DeMar gets the ball, the only time he passes is if he gets doubled. Last night sucks. Yeah, or sucked. Yeah, I know, UPS Chris. It's rough, man. It's just not sustainable, right? When the shots are going in, you're thinking great. And I said yesterday on the show, this team is just not a team for me, and I'm not going to do it, but y'all know where I'm from and y'all know who I covered. It's just the complete antithesis of that. And it's not even, there was a while where we thought that the Kings were trying to be, kind of an imitation of the Warriors because it's a copycat league and everybody was trying to copy the Warriors. But nobody's trying to copy this. This is not it. It's not fun. It's funny because even though you're not playing, you kind of feel for the team. Sometimes I'm watching and I feel like I'm playing pickup and there's somebody and I'm just standing in the corner thinking, can I get the rock? Even though I'm not even playing. That's how it feels sometimes. Kyle, we have time for Christie's cuts or we should do it on the other side. We got some time. All right, let's hear from Doug Christie and then on the other side, we'll discuss what I really want to discuss. But here is Christie's cuts.
Not us. Messaging to them. There's absolutely no excuses in this league. The league does not care about back-to-backs, injuries, nothing. But that was brutal from the physicality standpoint. They didn't feel us at all, and our guys know that is totally unacceptable. Whether we had whoever is out on the floor, doesn't matter. So. Yeah, we didn't reach where we want to in threes, spraying the basketball. We didn't reach where we want to in assists. And then we just did not have the level of physicality that we want to. So we must be better. 26-6 in fast break points. It's just, it's not us. Take care of the basketball and play smart basketball. Yeah. Disappointed with some of the inability to make them move because they go down like 12 or 14% when they put the ball on the deck. And these are all things that we talked about, but executing game plan is different. You got to get out there and you got to execute it. A lot of times they were just driving head down to the basket and saying, do something about it. And that's what we want to do, is put the ball down, kick it out, and let our guys shoot threes, and we did not do that tonight. It's part of what happens. I mean, then we're going to have Domas coming back. Like, since I've sat in this seat, the airplane's in the air, but we're fixing it while it's in the air, and you just have to understand that. That's why, up there I told them zero excuses, man. I don't want to hear excuses. This is reality. This is our league. This is what happens. You have to find your rhythm. That's why a lot of times you play for your teammate until you find your rhythm. You don't have to push to find your rhythm, especially when you got the type of offensive firepower that we have. One dribble, two dribbles, draw, kick, relocate, and help each other get wide open looks. We didn't do that. This is one of the best ISO defensive teams in the league. It's not just Malik. It's everybody. If they're going to blitz Zach, just make it super simple. Pass it ahead. The roller's in the pocket. Our rollers are big and talented. Jonas is huge. Domas is very talented when he gets in the pocket downhill. Let them make the play. Once that happens, now they're going to have to adjust, and we didn't put pressure on them to make them adjust. They to their credit, and you have to give them credit, they stalled us out in many ways, and it's not anything that we didn't cover. To walk through, we talked about a lot of this, but it's one thing to talk about it, it's one thing to be about it, and we weren't tonight.
The plane is in the air, but we are fixing it while it's in the air. I think that is the best way to describe it, because that's literally what it is. And you spend some time talking about the future of Doug Christie, and we said that this team is really in November as far as the time that they've spent together. And it shows, right? There are a lot of November losses that we're dealing with. But on the other side of things, you have Doug Christie, who is trying to figure out his way and maybe kind of questioning, how in the world am I being evaluated here, right? And again, I don't think that they'll go in a different direction. Sometimes I just worry about the new shiny toy. But I don't get it twisted for 2 seconds. Doug Christie has at the very least earned an opportunity to coach this team for a full season as a head coach, in my opinion. It'll be, it wouldn't be a 1-year deal. Don't get me wrong. 2-3-year deal, whatever it is. I just know they clearly don't really care about the contracts too much. But at the very least, Doug Christie has earned the opportunity to coach this team and get a training camp and go in and do things like that. And, that to me kind of showed where he's at with all of this as far as his expectations. And obviously you expect to compete, but how much in that locker room, I know DeMar was ticked off after the Denver game, but you're putting out good performances besides last night, and you're not winning basketball games because this team is in a spot that doesn't match up with where they actually are in the season. That's it. On the other side, we're going to get a little messy. We have the clip that I have been teasing as far as, just some of the narratives that I think have been thrown around. And look, I've been a part of it as well, because I'm just reading, what I watch. And yeah, you can tell Doug Christie is kind of trying to get rid of some of those narratives. We will play that sound and talk about it on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators, and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Amish have a reputation for craftsmanship, determination, and quality. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Those virtues sound quite similar to the Keys family and the day-to-day values on display at Naturewood. The Amish furniture craftsmanship begins with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into one-of-a-kind art. In addition to the classic styles long sought and revered by discriminating furniture lovers, Naturewood Home Furnishings offers a vast selection that includes transitional, modern, farmhouse, arts and crafts, and other stunning styles, all available in the ultimate Amish standard of excellence built over centuries. All Naturewood Amish furniture is on sale right now for a limited time. Let the Naturewood team guide you through their selection of Amish furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, everybody. Kyle Draper here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know, sometimes you just don't want to buy brand new. I get it. I understand. Sometimes you just want to try something out. Maybe go for a lease. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the place for you. They have great lease offers starting at $297 a month. That's right, $297 a month. You know, for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the community. Whether you're buying, whether you're leasing, they're the ones you can trust. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and check out their fleet of lease vehicles. They have certified pre-owned vehicles as well, starting at just 3.49% on select models from 2021, 22, and 23. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Tell them your boy Drape sent you, and trust me, they'll take care of you. They're a partner you can trust. Or you can always go online at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
And now a brief history of the garage door. Garage doors could date back to 450 BC when chariots were stored in gatehouses. Here in the States, they became a thing around the start of the 20th century. You could find a float-over door in a catalog way back in 1906. National Garage Door has been around since 1974. They're family-owned and operated, so you can trust them to solve any garage door issues you may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door Services, their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer-branded garage doors. They are the nation's BSE broken spring experts. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help, whether it's a garage door tune-up, repair, or replacement you need. They'll take care of you at National Garage Door, 916-638-4554. That's 916-638-4554. National Garage Door.
Get ready for your chance to win $1 million by entering Sacktown Sports Bracket Challenge on Sunday, March 16. Brought to you by Xfinity. Stream live sports from the best seat in the house.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
It's comical to me that we all get so worked up game to game when I think most of us know that this roster is at best a few games above 500. We are a low-end play-in team as constructed. Pretending otherwise is silly. That's from the 916. Yeah, I don't know if the line is that they are a low-end play-in team as presently constructed. If you're including, like I've been saying, kind of the timeline and how, hey, this roster is not a low-end play-in team. This roster isn't. But maybe the timeline of how long the roster has been put together, maybe you're including that as well. I still don't think they're a low-end play-in team, but, to be fair, you are until you aren't. And as long as they're the 9 seed, I guess this roster is a low-end play-in team. I do think some of the schedule conversations matter. There's just a lot going against this roster. And if you are going to overcome it, that is why the Denver game stung me so much. And that is why I can't sit here and say, well, I'm actually positive about what happened against the Clippers, because there's just no time for that. If everybody was 2 to 3 years younger, and we're going into the next season, oh, yeah, that's great. We're ahead of schedule. No, they're not ahead of schedule. I don't know if they're behind schedule or on schedule, but they ain't ahead of schedule.
There is no schedule.
There is no schedule. There's no class. There's no plan. Right. There's no plan.
No class, no balls.
Kyle, as this whole thing is starting to wear on everyone, what we're going to do is we're going to play the whole question and the whole answer, and then we're going to kind of focus in on the narrative that I think Doug is trying to dispel as Matt George is asking his question. Here it is.
DC, you just touched on this a little bit. You have two really gifted isolation scorers in DeRozan and Levine. You've also talked about wanting to have a kind of a free-flowing offense, not drop plays or anything like that.
No, we draw plays.
Well, okay, so but
okay, we'll
what is
it right.
What is the balance with letting them rock and letting them do their thing in isolation and wanting them to move the basketball out of those spots? Where's that balance?
Well, the balance is breaking the shot clock down into 3 sections. The first section is transition and flow. So that's 8 seconds. The second is getting ourselves into sets if that first flow isn't there. And then the last 8 seconds is when you get to your business, because that's what they do. That's what they get paid to do. But to get there, you got to trust your teammates, get out and run. What's there? What's there? Nothing's there. Boom, set it out. Okay, elbow. Okay, boom, he pops. Nothing's there. Now we're down to butter clock. That's where they're special at. But if you don't allow yourself to get there, now you find yourself in a world of trouble versus a really good defensive team. And what I'm saying, you have to spend energy to do that. That ain't easy. There's trust involved in that. There's a lot of different things that involve. It sounds easy, but I'm from somebody who did it my whole life. That ain't easy, man, because these guys are physical. They're letting them touch you. All of a sudden you get in your feelings because I don't want to be touched, and I'm about to show you I got game. We can't get personal like that. Let it do what it do. Get out and run. If it's there, great. If it's not, set up something. It could be simple. It could just be a drag. As soon as the drag starts, kick the ball ahead, still nothing. Call somebody into a goal screen in the last 8 seconds, and we got 2 of the best ISO players in the league. Bang.
That was one of the most illuminating answers that I think I've heard from Doug Christie.
Bang.
Because as we're all trying to figure out what are we looking at here, I think it's pretty simple. As he breaks down the shot clock, I mean, that was just great. That was just great.
Bang.
He breaks down the shot clock in 3 parts. What it looks like to me, and what he maybe isn't saying or leaving out, is that if DeMar feels it's like a green light, right, on the baseball field. If you have a fast runner, you have a green light. I don't need to give you the steal. Whenever you feel like you got it, you got it. I had a green light back in the day. So I think what's part of this is that DeMar on a Jamal Murray or something like that is getting to the butter clock, as he called it, the last 8 seconds immediately. And what I think that they need to rein back is that DeMar maybe feels like he has this all the time, and they're not. The first 16 seconds that he talked about, we're just not seeing as often. And maybe some of that is not having Domantas Sabonis, but I feel like what we're seeing, we're just seeing the last 8 seconds at the beginning of the shot clock all the time, and it's against the Knicks, who are, and Doug said it himself, they're the best ISO, some of the best ISO defenders. Not a great year defending as a team, but they can all defend. So I think that you go from a game where it's been ISO. It's just, again, there's not enough time. This team mentally is in November, and you're going from a game where it's ISO to all the stuff that Doug said. I just don't think they've put together yet.
Oh, and by the way, you're also missing your best player.
That's right.
And the facilitator of the entire offense, which is Domantas Sabonis as the point center. All of this revolves around that, which it was interesting to think about that. It's almost like you're saying there's a DeMar DeRozan rules, and then there's this.
That's right.
Forever, like within the flow of the offense, there's this, but then there's also the DeMar DeRozan offense that doesn't look like what Doug just described.
What we saw in Denver, they were not doing, which normally happens in crunch time. We get all that. But the problem is it can't just be a DeMar rule, right? It can't just be a DeMar rule. You're paying Zach LaVine twice as much as you're paying DeMar. So there are things that Doug is saying, because in my opinion, him saying that, go say you, and I'm not saying he hasn't, but that needs to be said to DeMar, in my opinion, or to the team, and to DeMar, and they're not getting what Doug just described. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing that.
So what's interesting is that if you think back to early in the season, and this was when they still had De'Aaron Fox and Kevin Huerter and everyone else, it was almost like DeRozan would go into his bag in like the third quarters,
right?
And the rest of the flow offense would work great. They had like a top 6 offensive rating in the league early on in the year.
Yeah.
But then we'd get into clutch time, and when it switched to that you just need a bucket, go get a bucket offense, the Kings were the worst team in the clutch early on in the season. I remember in the Shams tweet announcing the Mike Brown firing, it was like the Kings, who are 5-13 in clutch game, or have the most clutch losses in the league. It was almost like once they got into that, they didn't know how to operate outside that offense. And so maybe it's a little better now because DeMar DeRozan, like you said yesterday, just goes into his phone booth or goes into his bag or goes into his office. Yes, that's what it was. He goes into his office, and they're at least operating a little bit better when they know that DeRozan's the number one option for quarters at a time. But now the flow is gone almost. It's like what was working great for them before is gone, but the end of game isolation is working better. It's almost like it's flip-flopped in a way.
The other part of this too is, and I know that they had been playing better defense against bad teams, but their defense had been better, is when you're not able to stop the other team, when you're actually facing above average NBA talent, you're just surviving. So I think what happens is you get OG Anunoby making threes, and you get Jamal Murray making threes, and, we need a bucket just to keep pace because you don't trust your defense to get stops. So then on the offensive end, you're not running anything. It's, I guess we got to go to DeMar because we need to score to keep pace, and you're not as patient offensively because the defense isn't giving you the confidence to be patient. You're just surviving. And why we got to go to DeMar because we need this bucket because we can't stop him right now. So it always comes back to the defense. And they had been playing better defense. They just hadn't necessarily been doing it against those better teams, which is what it was a decent defense. It was a good defensive game against the Clippers. It was decent against the Nuggets. And then last night, again, if you're just now joining us, my feeling on last night is maybe they weren't due for a 30-point loss, but they were due for a letdown game, and that's why you have to win the games when you show up. You got to leave with something. All right, Kyle, on the other side, we're going to get back into what Doug said and kind of dispel some of those narratives as he corrects the media on what exactly is happening with the offense. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Is that a new Samsung Galaxy A15 5G?
Yeah, I got it for free when I joined Cricket Nation.
Sounds pretty great.
At Cricket, anyone can get a new phone when they switch.
Whoa.
With a high-quality camera, meaning more flattering selfies for all, and super fast 5G, so you can post them for all to see. Your friends, your family, your ex. Free phone! Free phone!
Okay, I'll switch.
Welcome to Cricket Nation.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
(916-339-1140) if you want to be a part of the conversation. And there are a lot of conversations to be had. This thing isn't done. We're going to do some pocket watching. We're going to see how the Kings can figure this thing out. I mean, like I said, you get the Red Hot Warriors, who are 13-2 their last 15 games, 12-1 with Jimmy. You get the Warriors on Thursday, and you can use it as a palate cleanser. And you can say, hey, we're not going to go down like some punks. We're not going to get punked again, as Malik Monk said. Now, he said that last time, but this time is different. We're not going to get punked again, and you can use that to catapult yourself into some conversations that get you in the 8th seed. That's really it, because the 6th seed, well, I'm not talking about that. Other people can talk about it. I'm not wasting anybody's time.
1.7% chance.
Yeah, well, I'm not wasting anybody's time. I'm not even really wasting. I know everything is super close, and we'll get into pocket watching, but I'm just looking at the 8 seed, people. That's what we've been looking at. Just don't be 9. That's the ebbs and flows of the show. That's how it was, a couple weeks ago. Just don't be 9. And that's how we're still feeling. You get the Warriors on Thursday. You got another back-to-back. Warriors at Suns Thursday, Friday, back-to-back. Then you host the Grizzlies and you host the Cavs. So you have to get, obviously you got to get the Suns, which the Suns, they almost beat the Grizzlies. They went back and forth. So it ain't going to be easy. You're going to see what you're made of. And look, if you do make it in, you know that you would have earned it. You would have definitely earned it. Kyle, let's get to that clip again. We can stop it after Doug says what he says, because, I do think that I am one of those people that have questioned the amount of plays that have been called. And, I've asked Doug myself about the plays and that balance. And I feel like Doug might be getting a little bit tired of that question. So let's play that beginning again.
Two really gifted isolation scorers in DeRozan and Levine. You've also talked about wanting to have a kind of a free-flowing offense, not drop plays or anything like that.
No, we draw plays.
Well, okay,
stated right.
What is the balance?
That's good. State it right. And Kyle, you and I were talking during the break, and I think that you talk about when you lose games, and here's the thing. I think Doug still would have corrected Matt if this was during the winning streak, right? Let's say 7-game winning streak. But here's the thing. When Doug still has a winning record, still doing very well as the interim head coach. But when everything is all good and you're winning games and you got Malik speaking out, and at this time, Malik, Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox still on the team, and it's, oh yeah, he just simplified everything. Now, it was always kind of read and react, but Doug himself said, we're not just going to get into actions to get into actions, which is not him saying we're not running plays. But there has been a narrative that I don't really think I think the media has kind of just worked off of what the Kings have been saying. Everything is simple. We just kind of get out there and feel it. We read and react. You set a screen, this, that, when they were winning. Now that you're losing, hey, well, it can't come off like we're just out here. And again, obviously the roster has changed, but hey, when you're losing games, it can't come off like you're just rolling the ball out there and playing pickup basketball. And now I think, like I said, I think Doug would have corrected him either way. But now that these games aren't going the way that I feel like they want them to be going, it's, hey, we can't have it out there that we're just rolling the ball out there. I'm doing my job, as Doug talked about. I've been doing a lot. That's what he said a couple days ago after the Denver loss, or after the Clippers loss.
After the Luke Laux thing.
I don't want it coming off like nobody. Now, it might not look like that, and like we said, Doug he breaks down the shot clock into 3 parts. They might not be doing it, which again is kind of reminiscent of the former coaching staff. They might not be doing it, but we have plays that they should be running.
Yeah, so here's kind of the interesting part of that is not so much that they're not winning as much, I feel. It's that they're not good enough. Good enough for what? Whatever your expectation was. I think most people, not me included, most people had them being in a position to fight for the 6, the 7, or the 8. That's not going to happen. Maybe the 8, but they're going to need some help from other teams. So if you feel like they're not good enough, the question then becomes, what can we do to be better? You obviously can't change the roster. You could hope for better health, but I think some people are turning to the coaching staff and being like, what can you do to improve this team? And maybe that comes back to the simplifying the offense was used to improve this team. When they switched from Mike to Doug, that was a big part of how they improved on the offensive end of the floor, and it just freed everything up. So now you're coming back and saying, okay, it's not working right now. Team's not good enough. What can we do to swing it back in the other direction? And I don't know if there's an answer for that, because I don't know if the adjustments the coaches are making are specifically what is not working. Because we haven't heard people complain about the rotations as much anymore. We haven't heard players complain about the free-flowing nature of the offense. So I don't know exactly what the tinker is, and maybe that's where some of the frustration is coming from. But again, I just don't know.
Yeah, just kind of running out of answers and running out of time. Also, it's not something where it's, again, no. If this is November, oh man, this team, we got. I know we might need another point guard, something like that. But maybe Keon being in this spot early on, maybe Keon's a different point guard by March if they are doing this early on. Who knows?
And you know what? It was a back-to-back, and there was no Domantas Sabonis. So, we're not supposed to beat the Knicks.
Exactly. Even with no and that's the crazy thing. You're not supposed. They don't ever beat the Knicks. So when you look at the schedule, you found out that you didn't have Jalen Brunson, and you're thinking, okay, should be able to do some things, but they don't beat the Knicks. Right? They don't do that.
Well, I think the problem was they still couldn't defend the Knicks, and as quiet as it's kept, the Knicks are a much better defensive team with Deuce McBride instead of Jalen Brunson.
No. And that's what I actually said that to Chris yesterday when we were watching the game. I said, kind of similar to the Malik Monk Keon thing, the Knicks probably are getting after it even more defensively without Jalen Brunson. And again, they're just chucking threes in an arena that they're very comfortable in. They've won here before and they feel good about it. I'm looking here.
And the other thing is those contests are a little bit harder when your legs are shot from playing 45 minutes the night before.
It's 55% from three. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, that is incredible. They had 5 Steph Currys on the floor last night. Mikal Bridges 1 for 3. OG Anunoby 3 for 7. Karl-Anthony Towns 3 for 6. Miles McBride 4 for 5. Josh Hart 4 for 6. And don't sleep on Miles McBride. I saw something from Hoop Central, and it had every team's best young player, right? Who is the best player and also the youngest player on each team. Obviously, the Kings had Keegan Murray, and I was looking, the Warriors had Jonathan Kuminga, and the Knicks, they selected Miles McBride. So let's not sleep on Miles McBride. And I know, normally he's coming off the bench kind of doing his thing, but he had, 15 points in the first quarter? Ridiculous.
Hit his first 5 shots, including 3 threes.
And the Kings are looking around thinking, okay, well, we need to make somebody shoot. Well, it can't be that guy because that guy is a shooter, right? And OG Anunoby, to go 3 for 7, like I said, offensively, he's been figuring some things out. Mikal Bridges, he takes 10 shots, but only takes 3 threes, so you live with that. I mean, ultimately, the killer is Josh Hart going 4 for 6. But again, this is a team that is very comfortable playing against you. They smell blood, and if you allow them to punch you in the mouth, I think everybody was just a bit shocked there in the crowd. And there are a lot of Knicks fans as well, and they're used to that anywhere they travel. But I think everybody was just a bit shocked that the Kings just kind of got their butts whooped. And honestly, you shouldn't have been shocked just from, okay, we're getting our legs back. Malik is back in the lineup. The problem is that is not the team where you can, and especially when you don't play really good defense, that is not the team that you can figure things out in the second half, and they're not going to give up a lead like that. That's just not what the Knicks are going to do. They're just too good defensively. So that's kind of what happened there. We've been discussing the pocket watching aspect of this, so let's get into it on the other side and how the Kings can get back into the top area of the plan. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
A little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-859-6688. 800-859-6688. 800-859-6688.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Huge savings now on new 2025 Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. With $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 LT models at Maida Chevy. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,250 off new Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. 5 to sell for Mustang 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings continuing to try to get it done. Let's take a look at how they can get it done. And they're not done yet. You know, that's the thing. You can use this butt whooping as an opportunity to figure some things out. And hey, you know, we've been playing some good ball. We got nothing to show for it. We got to play better ball, right? And that's the whole thing about the moral victory thing, is that my issue when you go the moral victory route is denying that they could have just played better. Just play better. Not a coach. Very simple stuff, right? And what he would say to the team is, you know, guys, it's not that you're not talented. It's not that you can't do certain things. We got hitting, we got pitching, we can field the baseball. We just got to play better. We're not playing good enough. And when you go the moral victory route, I actually think sometimes it does a disservice to the team because it's almost assuming that they couldn't play better. They could have played better in Denver. They could have played better in Los Angeles. And they damn sure could have played better last night. That's obvious. But moral victories, it says, oh, well, hey, they tried and it was a good game. No, because sometimes they're not going to have it. Last night they didn't have it, and I'm okay with that. But that's why I wasn't okay with what happened in Denver and Los Angeles. But with all that being said, you just got to play better. Just play better. It's very simple. You are not playing good enough. You played better in Denver than you played last night, but you lost. You played better in LA than you played last night, but you lost. So either way, you have to play better. Let's take a look at the strength of schedule here. Kings still sitting there at number 2 with the Phoenix Suns at number 1. The Phoenix Suns, based on what I'm seeing here, and, you know, this thing gets a little bit softer, if you will. So this is interesting. It's pretty close because the Phoenix Suns, the strength of schedule is at 59% for that winning percentage. The Kings are at 55%. The Kings, actually, if you look at this, both the Thunder and the Kings, or both the Suns and the Kings have one game against the Thunder. The Kings have one more game against the Celtics. The Suns have 2 more games, but the Kings have 2 more games against the Cavs, and the Suns only have 1. The Suns have a game against the Knicks. The Kings still have another game against the Nuggets. The Suns have another game against the Lakers and 2 more against the Rockets. And the Kings still have the Grizzlies one more, which is coming up, this week or next week, and the Bucks. So that's all of that is happening. All 3 of those games, Grizzlies, Bucks, and Celtics, and Thunder, by the way, that's all in March. That is all in March. What's funny is, if you look at, not to get too in the weeds, but if you look at what the Suns do have, and again, you got to take care of business, but the Suns, the Rockets are still on, and I know the Rockets now have won a couple games in a row, but Suns are at Houston tomorrow. Then they have the game against the Kings. I'm double checking here. Funny enough, they have the Lakers Sunday, March 16th. I don't think LeBron is not going to be back.
He will not be.
So you get the Lakers without LeBron, who just lost to the Nets.
Did Luka not play in that game?
No, he did play.
Okay, he did play. I was confused when I went to sleep at halftime of the Knicks game, so I was kind of checked out. Everybody, yeah. Luka had 22, and Luka had a triple-double, 22, 12, and 12. Dalton Knecht had 19. My guy, Dalton. Gabe Vincent had 24. Austin Reeves
kind of took the mantle. He said I was the reason, he had 17.
I was going to say, I saw one of those Laker accounts that just pops up in my Twitter feed. They were posting like starting lineup, Luka, Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, and Alex Len. And I was like, oh my God, that team is so bad outside of Luka and LeBron.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes, I'm assuming, was injured. He didn't play. So they lose that game 111-108, a game where Luka had a triple-double. Austin Reeves had a double-double, 17 points and 10 assists, and Dalton Connect gave you 19. Gabe Vincent gave you 24, and Alex Len had 0 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. He played 13 minutes. So
yeah,
I mean,
guy.
Obviously, the Lakers are kind of in a different category now. But with that being said, now the Suns get the Lakers on Sunday, March 16th. So out of their tough games, Kings Suns is another big game. All the games are big. They're all big games. If Suns get the Rockets tomorrow, who you never really know what Rockets team is going to show up. Like I said, I think Amen Thompson is out right now with injury, so the Suns might have an opportunity there. So this thing, I'm not really worried about the Kings dropping to the 9, but I am a bit worried about the Kings having to face a Suns team who they had a good game last night against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are just a good team, even though I don't want to believe it. If you take a look at the Western Conference standings.
Quick update, the Rockets will be without Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson, and Fred VanVleet.
Fred VanVleet is hurt again?
Yep, ankle injury. He missed their last game and is doubtful for the next game.
He is stealing money. Fred VanVleet is stealing money. I got to talk to one of my Rockets buddies. The Kings sitting there in the 9 seed. They are 2 games behind the Clippers, and they do not have the tiebreaker against the Clippers for the 8 seed. So this is what we're talking about here as far as trying to get to the 8 seed. The Kings are 3 games behind the Timberwolves, who I tried to will into the bottom half of the play-in, and it just hasn't been happening.
That was crazy that you were like, I think the Timberwolves are going to be the 10 seed. I was like, what are you talking about?
Well, it had to be, I didn't say 10, but it had to be someone, and it is going to be someone. It's going to be the Kings. That's who it's probably going to be. And yeah, the Warriors, I know people are, paying attention to that game on Thursday. The Warriors are 3.5 games ahead of the Kings, and the Kings could, for whatever it's worth, if the Warriors fall off a cliff, the Kings could get the tiebreaker if they win on Thursday. But the Warriors are 9-1 their last 10. They've won 5 straight games, and they're rolling right now. And their strength of schedule, the Warriors are at 13. The Timberwolves, and we knew that this was going to be tough. The Timberwolves are at 27 for their strength of schedule, so they're not dropping. They're not dropping to 9. And the Clippers, who's probably most important, the Clippers are at 8 as far as their strength of schedule. So obviously a lot goes with the strength of schedule. The Clippers still have a game against the Warriors, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Knicks, and the Thunder, and 2 against the Cavs. Let's see here when the Clippers have the Knicks. Are they going back east, or are they going to have to face? So the Clippers, Kyle, they're going to New York March 26th. So he could be, Brunson could be back.
Yeah, but so could Norman Powell.
That's right. So it's looking very 9-y. It turned the 6 upside down. It's a 9 now. That's what it's looking like.
Got to be careful when you say that.
Yeah, now I do.
We're not going to do this every day, but I just pulled up the playoff probabilities thing again today. You want to know the percentage chance now of the Kings being in the 9-10 game? According to Basketball Reference's 10,000 projections.
80. It's 70 or 80.
85.
Oh, my goodness.
85% chance they will end up in the 9-10 game. 49% chance that's in the 9 seed, so that's good. They're still staving off the Mavericks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they have a 15% chance of being 7-8 game. 15% chance there, 84 and change percent chance, 0.6% chance of being the 1 through 6 seed.
Jeez.
And a 0.4% chance of being the 11, which they would have to really fall off to get to 11.
No, then I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a very small fractional probability, but
funny enough, it was just last week where somebody said, Allen, why do you keep looking below the Kings? Why aren't you looking above? And at the time I felt bad. I said, maybe you're right. And I'm not looking above. I'm not looking past the 8th seed. Not now. Now, obviously that was before they dropped these 3 games.
And not even the hardest ones either.
No.
The Denver one was one of the hard ones. They still have the 3 really hard ones still, which is the Thunder, the Cavs, and Boston on a back-to-back.
And an angry Boston ain't forget what happened in Boston.
I guess, but Boston's kind of a weird team right now. Like, they're obviously the champs and you respect the champs, but like they've got more questions than answers right now. So I'm not like totally scared of Boston in the same ways as before, but they're still one of the 5 best teams.
It's rough out here in these streets. You got the sack chatters arguing with each other, blocking each other. This is what happens when the Kings get their butts whooped. And when they don't have, at least when you get your butt whooped, you could say, well, they won they beat the Clippers and that was a really good game. And, they beat Kawhi and James Harden, or they beat the Nuggets and Jokic. You have nothing to show for that, and now everybody wants to fight each other. On the other end, all right, let's turn the corner. How can the Kings start to fix what's gone wrong with them? And we'll do it. We'll talk about the starting lineup. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Grab your things, I want to take you.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. All right, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again, another Drapes commercial for his guys and girls down there at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. But trust me, Listen to this. Whether you're in the market for a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, they'll take care of you. Trust me, they got certified pre-owned vehicles starting at 3.49 APR on select 2021, 22, and 23 models. And take it from me, when you go to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you leave out feeling like you're valued, like they trust you, like they care for you. Matter of fact, it's like they're your family. That's right. So for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the entire community. And get this, it's not that far away, guys. Just a short drive down I-5, or of course, online anytime at mbfstockton.com. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and tell them Drape sent you.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. You know it's bad when people are starting to chime in and say, hey, the Niners made some moves. Baseball's starting soon. They don't even want to talk Kings anymore. Look, we definitely are going to get into – I literally told Kyle this. I said, look, man, I might be the only – I know Carmichael Dave does this as well, but I'm very open about my radio journey, try to be a human in all this. And, you know, when I get people, we've joked about doing – too much Kings or not enough Kings, or the fact that somebody can hop in their car, and if you're not talking Kings, they haven't heard their Kings fix yet, and you cannot please everybody. It's not possible. But you know, on a day like today, the Kings don't play again till Thursday, and really there's the game was what it was. We're gonna look at some versions of lineups that could maybe help the Kings, and what exactly are the X's and O's as far as the issues here. But yeah, I mean, I will not milk the Knicks game for the next 2 days, or because I would lose my mind. I would actually lose my mind. You know, Kyle Juszczyk, I don't know would you call him a Niners great, but I think he's close to it. He was a fan favorite. At the very least, he was a fan favorite.
Ring of Honor player?
I don't think so.
He's not going to get a jersey retired.
No,
but
no.
Ring of Honor, baby?
Yeah. Kyle Juszczyk no longer with the San Francisco 49ers, and the mid QB shuffle continues with the Seahawks fans basically saying, oh, great, we got rid of Geno. We're going to move in the young direction. And then getting Sam Darnold for 3 years. So there's plenty to talk about, and we will get to it. Yeah, look, man, it's a 4-hour show, and the Kings don't, on a day like today, they don't deserve to be talked about for 4 hours, frankly speaking.
Maybe we're doing production on air now, but I'm in my mind, I'm like, today's the day to get all those topics you've wanted to talk about for weeks.
And I've just been afraid of getting tomatoes thrown at me.
Today's the day to do it.
That's
okay?
right.
Today is the day to just get all of it off your chest. We're going to talk Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
That's right.
We're going to talk 49ers. We're going to talk about mid-quarterback carousel, which I got to come up with a funny name for that, because it truly is just a mid-quarterback carousel right now. Like,
yeah.
I heard or Josh Dobbs for the Niners just went to the Patriots, and I heard Jameis might come to the Niners, but then Kenny Pickett just went to the Browns. So it's like just the mid quarterbacks are all shuffling hands. Daniel Jones is a cult now, which I saw someone.
I saw that this morning. I saw
someone make the joke about Anthony Richardson. This is the fairest assessment ever. If you can't beat out Daniel Jones, it's not going to work out for you.
You need to do something else. But before we do all of that, we do want to look at the things that can help this team, the Kings, that we can control, right? If you're Coach Doug Christie, you cannot control that you've been given this team with a short time span. You can't control this. You can't control that. One thing you can't control is the starting lineup. And I know that I have said I'm not really in the camp of changing the starting lineup. And I don't know that I'm even there quite yet, but I'm here to discuss opportunities, okay? After a stretch like the Kings have had, where you got really close to beating good teams and Malik Monk didn't play, and Malik Monk comes back and you get your you-know-what's handed to you on a silver platter, at the very least, you could say, hey, we're just going to try something different, see if we get hot, and go from there, right? Hey, Malik, you're coming back from injury. You had to go back to the locker room. We're actually going to bring you off the bench. We're going to start Keon, and we're going to see if that fixes something, right? Because you're at the point now where you could probably say this has no bearing on what we're going to do next season. And you can be honest, Malik, we don't know who's going to be on the team next season, right? Maybe you don't want to be that honest because you don't want Malik to. Malik has a meeting with Kings ownership. What is the direction?
To discuss it.
To discuss the direction.
Imagine Sam Amick's next story where it's like Domantas Sabonis, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Keon Ellis.
They're all walking in there with their arms linked together. It's like, guys, if you're the ones playing the games, we're just having some fun.
And also randomly Isaac Jones?
Yes, who played well yesterday. There's a positive. Isaac Jones played pretty darn well yesterday. What did he end with? He ended with 12 points in 19 minutes. But hold on now. Let me keep going here.
Okay, one joke real quick.
Okay.
Jay Crowder with the back brace on, standing in line with the guys.
Hey, man, whenever I'm ready, it's my time. It's my time.
That's what Jay Crowder is for, solidarity when they charge into Monty McNair's office.
So when you look at this lineup, you have an opportunity now to say, okay, hey, Malik, this has no bearing. We promise you. We don't even know who the coach is going to be. We think it's going to be Doug, but we're just in survival mode. And we know that you can come off the bench and do a good job for us. And look, I think you can look at Malik's production and use that to help him to say, hey, Malik, look, man, it's a bit redundant right now, right? Zach is doing some of the things that you do. You're doing some of the things that he does. You're both doing some of the things that DeMar DeRozan does. We have three super similar players. And you're all really, really good, and we want to give you that respect. But to be honest with you, it's not really working, right? We beat some good teams just based on talent. But schematically and based on actually breaking down who the team is, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So this is what we're going to do. We got 18 games left. It has no bearing on what the roster or what the lineup will look like next season. Malik, I don't even know if I'm going to be the coach next season. We're trying to make the playoffs here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start Keon. You're going to come off the bench. You're going to give us that spark that you gave us. This is not about you offensively. This is about the team defensively. And we're going to continue to do what we're doing. Keon might come out at the 5-minute mark, just like you were coming out at the 5-minute mark. We cannot afford to fall behind teams right now. And we think it's a good opportunity because of you coming back from injury. We saw some things during those games. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. I'm not even saying I want to do it. I'm just saying if you are looking around for answers and something that could alter, right? You are staring the 9 seed in the face with some really good offensive teams coming into your building. So you don't have to do it. I don't even know that I want to do it. But it's something that I could see them discussing, because there's no what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do?
Well,
and besides play better.
Well, it goes back to the conversation we were having earlier, which is this team might not be good enough. Good enough for what? Depends on your expectation. But in the meantime, you're trying to find what adjustments can be made if there are adjustments to be made. And I guess maybe you've gotten to the point where it's like, I've seen what this team looks like with Keon starting, and at times with Jake LaRavia closing, and defensively it feels a lot better. So maybe that's the direction we have to go. But I also want to give Malik a little bit of grace because he's playing through a toe sprain, and last night it took him a while to get going offensively, even though the game plan was, Malik, go, take the most shots on the team, go, you got this.
Well, I think you can use that as I'm not going to say excuse, but hey, Malik, we know you're coming back from injury. We've been also looking at some things defensively. Let's just have you come off the bench for the rest of the season. I know that we've kind of played with your situation a little bit. You started, you came off the bench, you were the point guard. We get all that, but I'm sorry, brother. We're all dealing with it. You know, this is not I was the fourth man off the bench when the season started, and now I'm the head coach, and one of the assistant coaches is in Tallahassee right now. So it's not about you. We're all dealing with it. We're just trying to survive. And I'm not saying to do it, but I know people that are obsessed with all the net ratings continue to break all that down. Let's continue to break that down on the other side. What would you do to help the Kings internally? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's March, and you're in luck because at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, they're slam dunking the competition with unbeatable deals on overhead doors. Hey there, Jason Ross here, and whether you're upgrading your home just like we did or need a reliable, secure garage door, they've got the perfect match for you. And March is the perfect time for a fresh start. Take your home to the next level with high-quality doors that stand strong, look amazing, and are installed by trusted professionals. The winning results we got is more than we could have asked for, and you can do the same. So visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com today and check out their showroom as well. And when you do, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and find out about the $150 off a new garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. Your dream door, just like us, is a click away. You can call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
And now a brief history of the garage door. Garage doors could date back to 450 BC when chariots were stored in gatehouses. Here in the States, they became a thing around the start of the 20th century. You could find a float-over door in a catalog way back in 1906. National Garage Door has been around since 1974. They're family-owned and operated, so you can trust them to solve any garage door issues you may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door Service is their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They are the nation's BSE broken spring experts. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help. Whether it's a garage door tune-up, repair, or replacement you need, they'll take care of you at National Garage Door. 916-638-4554. That's 916-638-4554. National Garage Door.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Spring is in the air, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping for new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHDK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Cameron Payne. Ball knocked away by Devin Carter, and it's grabbed by DeRozan. Feed to the head. Here comes Monk. Flying two-hand jam. Great setup pass. 7 unanswered points by the Kings. Makes it 46-33.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
12 o'clock hour. I ever realized you didn't bring lunch? And it's not that I didn't realize it. I was running late. And then when, and then when you're running late, and then your wife says, hey, can you drop me off somewhere? Even if it's on the way, you're thinking, well, yeah, I can drop you off, but that would have been nice to know, and I probably wouldn't have been running so late because I would have known that I need to drop you off.
I'm sorry that I just walked into the studio during the break eating my lunch. I had a nice warm bowl of food.
Yeah, it's fine.
I didn't realize you didn't have your lunch with you. I wouldn't have done that.
So if I get hangry at some point, I'll just chug some coffee. And then that'll really probably not.
If you go downstairs to the break room, there's a couple like coconut treats in a little tin.
It'll be fine. And if you're listening, I'm just kidding, babe. I'm just kidding. I loved dropping you off. It was a lot of fun because I just couldn't wait to get into the studio to talk about the Sacramento Kings and the butt whooping that they had to endure.
Real quick, you said you left early yesterday from the game, or did you stick around? Okay.
No, I left.
Because I was thinking, I wonder how long it took, media people to get out of there. 7:42 tip times. And...
Yeah, I definitely saw some late posts as far as the Kings and the media availability. So yeah, there was no way. I mean, we're fully loaded in there. You got the insiders, our guys. So I thought there's no need.
Let's play a game real quick, and I haven't looked yet, but I'm just going to do this on the air. Let's see, when was Brennan Nunez's latest tweet last night? Because we know Brennan likes to stay up late. So 10
from the building. So he's in the building still, or at home.
I'm just saying whenever his last tweet of the night was. We don't. I just looked it up. It's just him talking about the Doug Christie press conference. So
11:47.
That's your guess, 11:47. Because I've seen Brennan put out like threads of film at 2:30 a.m. before. Yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna say, if we're setting the bar, what'd you say? 11:45.
11:47.
11:47. I'm gonna go earlier than that.
Okay.
But let's see what it is. It is 10:47.
Yeah. An hour off. These guys, they work hard, man. Yeah. To have that at a 7:30, and of course it was on NBA TV, so not fully, the normal nationally televised game that, everybody gets up for, but you still got embarrassed on national TV as far as the Kings are concerned.
Here's another marker. Our friend Sean Cunningham, who posts all the videos of the post-game pressers, his Doug Christie video, which was obviously the last one, went up at 11:06 p.m.
All that for a game that wasn't even a good game. They deserve better. Our guy, Tony Harvey, is on the Sack Chat. Shout out, Tony, saying, so Stiles, what you're saying is Malik's work is not complimenting the other starters. I'm not even sure that's the case. I just don't think there's enough time to see if it's going to work. And what we do know is that the defense is better with Keon Ellis. The offense might get there eventually, but again, you're working with, and I don't even know what we are heading closer. That I keep saying month and a half. It's getting much closer to just a month away. We're at 18 games left. 18 games left for the Kings to figure this thing out. So one thing that doesn't take as much figuring out is the defense. So, with DeMar DeRozan. And here's the other thing. And I know Doug Christie defended the idea that they don't run plays. If you're just going to spam DeMar DeRozan ISOs and Zach LaVine horribly contested shots that tend to go in from 3-point range, what's the point of having Malik out there anyway? Nobody is orchestrating anything, right? What is Malik there to do? Just not turn the ball over, which he still can from time to time? If you're not running a hardcore offense, why do you need Malik out there? I think that's the best argument. We don't see Malik, the two-man game with Sabonis as much because DeMar is somewhere bouncing the air out of it. So why do you need Malik Monk to be a starter? Besides all the things that I've argued before, he's earned it. He deserves to be a starter. They've played with him enough where they've made him a starter and a bench player, things like that.
They're paying him to be a starter.
But are they?
I mean, he's the fourth highest paid player on the team.
Not when he signed the contract. When he signed the contract, he started the season on the bench.
That is fair, but you could make the argument he maybe should have been starting from the beginning of the season this year.
Different team. And even though it felt like there were still less DeMar with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas. Now, Domantas Sabonis on the floor. Maybe you shouldn't make a move until Domantas Sabonis is back. We also don't know when Domantas Sabonis is coming back. We know that he will be, did a report come out about the reevaluation? Because
no, should be
been over a week.
The report from the weekend said today is the reevaluation.
So we'll see what happens there. There's 2 more days, so maybe he'll be ready for the Warriors. If Domantas Sabonis comes back, I probably would continue to start Malik because you haven't been fully loaded, which ultimately is probably why they won't change the lineup, because you're not going to change a lineup when, again, you don't even have your full starting lineup. So I don't think they're going to make a move, but if you did, or if let's say Domantas Sabonis comes back and they get their butts whooped by the Warriors, right? Then I would say, okay, do we want to have the conversation about Keon starting? because right now we're not even getting the best version of Malik. He's averaging, I know he went about, what did he have, 21 last night? But, part of that was just because everybody else was tired. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know that we're seeing the best version of Malik. And I'm somebody who thinks that he gets a little bit disrespected as a point guard, but at the same time, he's not even getting to fully run. What they're running right now is not complimenting anyone. So to answer your question, Tony, it's not that I don't think Malik is complimenting the starters. I don't think anybody's complimenting anybody on that in that starting lineup now.
So do you remember during that week of the All-Star break when we were doing grades and talking about Malik being kind of incomplete because of the new role and him not being set up to succeed? At the time, like his assist numbers were up, but his shooting was down, and we didn't really know what to do with it because his shots per game were relatively steady. So what stinks is that he got hurt, because I still feel like we don't have a representative sample size of Malik as the point guard, right? We didn't know what to do with him coming out of the All-Star break. He got to play basically 4 games before he ended up getting hurt. So I feel like as much as it sucks, we still don't have the answers. And this goes back to what you said earlier, which is this group is essentially in November. They should have 50 games to figure all of that out and then make the necessary adjustments. What you're doing now is condensing the timeline because you only have 18 games left in the season before you have to have those answers, because you're going to have 2 games. The entire season is going to come down to 2 games.
Right.
It's going to come down to the 9-10 game at home, most likely, and then the 7-8, Clippers, Timberwolves, whoever you play, go on the road. Winner gets a playoff spot, right? The entire season is going to come down to 2 games, and they've got 18 games to get all the answers before then. So I think this just is another symptom of making a giant roster construction mid-season is you're not going to have the answers on Malik.
No, it's just not something that I don't think we're going to see, but at the very least, I will say this. It's not that I want to do it. And I do think that you could separate. This has no bearing. Would you believe them? So if you were to pretend that you're Malik, right? And hey, and we're going to get to the Malik sound on the other side. If you pretend that you're Malik and you're saying all the right things, and Doug even said that Malik, he's viewed Malik as the leader of the team, even when Fox was still on the team. But all this stuff has happened to you, and they say, hey, Malik, it's really just process of elimination. If we had another wing, we'd be talking to DeMar DeRozan about coming off the bench. But just from a size and position standpoint, it's got to be Keon, which means it's got to be you to come off the bench. How would you – hey, it's not going to affect your standing next season. We're just trying to survive. We don't even know what the team is going to look like next season, but we know you just signed here. How would you receive that if you were Malik? Me personally, I want to win. I would feel as if it's always got to be me sacrificing, and that would upset me. But I do want to win more than anything else. And as long as you tell me that this will truly have no bearing on next season, then I think I could convince myself to be okay with it. I think.
I don't know if I would go that direction, because it goes back to, well, you better be right. And if you're
not,
if
you're losing that way too, then it's, what are we doing?
Yeah, because it can't just be, it's just a numbers game and it's got to be you. It's like, well, what can I do to have a greater impact on this team?
When defend better
then. Maybe that's just the answer.
but the thing is, it's like I said, it's just you because Keon's a guard. Because DeMar DeRozan isn't good at defense. There was a play yesterday. It was the most ridiculous. It was the most pointless foul ever with Miles McBride. He just didn't move his feet, right? And Zach LaVine isn't good at defense. So the problem is we got 3 of you. We used to not have 3 of you.
Technically, we have 4 of you because Keon can't guard ball handling ones, as we found out now.
I'm not counting Keon. That's who they're sitting Malik 4, so you can't count Keon.
Yeah, I know, but they have of their 6 core players 4 are the same position, which is crazy. But at the same time, I think your point is, do Malik and Doug have an honest enough relationship to talk about, we're making this move and it's because of reason A, reason B, and reason C.
Yeah.
And if they have that relationship, I think they can bridge that gap of understanding. But I don't know how their relationship is, and I don't know what types of people they are because I don't know them personally. I don't know them at all.
Yeah, there's a 916 that keeps saying, go get a athletic 4 who can shoot threes and play D. Yeah, we know 916. They can't do that now.
That's what Jake LaRavia is for.
Yeah.
Woo!
We can't do that now. But I hear you. We've been talking about that. And there's going to have to be a Jake replacement at the end of the season. All right, we will hear from Malik Monk on the other side and whether you think he'd be okay with the move, or do you want to make the move or not? 916-339-1140. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-292-7788. 800-292-7788.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com. Or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
I'm just looking here because I saw, the Wednesday showdowns that they do in the NBA on the 4-letter network. And I just realized, as much as we're complaining here, I got to double check something. And they're sitting at number 11, the Denver Nuggets, because it feels like the Nuggets have had a lot of tough games lately. So I fired up their schedule, and, the strength of schedule is not the end-all, be-all. We just use it as a kind of measuring stick for where these teams are at. But as, people complain about the schedule, myself included, when you're heading into March, and 2 years in a row, it feels like the Kings have got the short end of the stick as far as who they have to face when everyone is tired and battered and bruised. Jokic almost didn't play last night. But this is the Nuggets schedule from February, late February. That's that famous game that they lost to the Lakers, and everybody crowned the Lakers the next champ. So they had Lakers, Pacers, Bucks, Pistons, Celtics. Then they beat the Kings barely, okay? And that Bucks-Pistons was on the road back-to-back. They lost to the Bucks and they beat the Pistons. They then had to play – they played an overtime game against the Suns Friday, March 7th. Then they had a mini-series with the Thunder where they lose to the Thunder in OKC, lose to the Thunder, beat the Thunder last night. Tomorrow they have the Timberwolves. Then they get the Lakers. Now, they get lucky because the Lakers don't have LeBron. But they have the Lakers on Friday, Wizards on Saturday, Warriors on Monday, Lakers on Wednesday. And then they get the Blazers, Rockets, Bulls, Bucks, and teams like that. So my point is that it's kind of with everyone, right? I mean, the Nuggets, I don't know if anybody's calling Jokic the face of the league per se, or I guess, are they manipulating things? Right now it's tough because a lot of the smaller markets have those big players, right? OKC with Shea, Denver with Jokic. So no, at the beginning of the season, I don't think anyone is sitting there saying, we're going to make sure Denver is in a position to win, or we're going to make sure OKC is in a position to win. And, even to end the season, now this looks tough from the Kings' point of view, but to end the season, Nuggets have the Warriors again. They host the Pacers. They go to Sacramento. They host the Grizzlies, and they go to Houston. So, and they're number 11 on that list because you mix in a couple Bulls, a Blazers, a Spurs in there. So that puts them at number 11. But a lot of these teams, they just have to play the Thunder in a 2-game set.
Yes, this is why the strength of schedule things are so difficult, because they change so quickly. That's why it's just a good gauge. Like with the Timber, we did the full schedule breakdown for the 4 teams last week, and I felt like that was a better gauge because the Timberwolves have 4 tough games the rest of the season. They play at Denver twice, at Memphis, at Milwaukee. And those are the only 4 difficult games.
Right.
As you just outlined, Denver has like 10 tough games of their 18 left in the year, but they've got a handful of those games that you just give as wins.
Super duds, yeah.
But the reason the Kings have the second hardest strength of schedule is because they play the Cavs twice. If you take away one of those Cavs games, I bet you they're going to drop to like 9th in strength of schedule. So it's a barometer, but it's not an end-all be-all, because I think the Warriors, after they played the Knicks, went from like 8th to 11th in strength of schedule. Like, it changes as soon as you take one of the hard games out. And to your point about Denver, and this does give me a chance to talk about Jokic, 35, 18, and 8 to beat the Thunder. The Thunder were so in the Jokic trap that they started dirty tactics of leaving a guy on the
they did lose Jalen Williams in that game, but go on.
Yeah, they're dirty tactics though, of leaving someone at the scorer's table so that Jokic couldn't speed up the game. They were in the torture chamber. Anyways, my point is that, to their credit, once you take away that Thunder game, I'm sure their strength of schedule went from like 5th to 11th.
Right.
And they won that Thunder game. So if you can win the really, really tough ones, that's where you gain an advantage over all those teams that have the difficult strength of schedule, which as of right now is just anyone who plays the Thunder, the Cavs, or the Celtics the rest of the season, which unfortunately for the Kings, that's 4 of your 18 games the rest of the way.
Yeah, and the Denver thing, and that's what we've kind of joked about. One more game against Denver. We talked about that. That's in April. But they've just been so close so many times, which has probably been the most frustrating thing about that situation. And, going back to how this team, and again, you didn't have Malik, you didn't have Sabonis, they didn't have Aaron Gordon. So everybody is missing someone. Everyone is trying to get healthy. The Lakers just lost LeBron, and now they lose to the Nets. It looked like the Lakers were, going to battle it out with the Nuggets for that 2 seed. And now it looks like might get handed to the 2 seed to Denver, but then you never know what's going to happen tonight or tomorrow. You truly never know. So, as much as it's tough to be positive about the Kings today, I think the biggest reason for positivity is that anything can happen in this league. It's not necessarily that the Kings are going to figure it out and be an inherently better team, but a couple things can break their way or not, right? But if they do break their way, you could still find yourself in 7 or 8. You get to 7. I still feel like if you can just find, and I know it looks tough, right? But you find a way to 7 or 8, you can get in the playoffs. You will get in the playoffs.
I think if you get to 9, you're still going to get in the playoffs, because you would get.
Well, I do not.
You would get a home game against Spencer Dinwiddie and PJ Washington.
Yes.
And then your entire season comes down to 1 game in Los Angeles, which, by the way, you had them without Malik Monk and Domantas Sabonis on Sunday. Kawhi's triple bounce shot was the difference between beating the Clippers and not beating the Clippers. I feel like 9 is not a death sentence.
It is.
It's not.
It is. I'm telling you that right now.
Is that because you want to get to 8-7 because you don't want to play the Thunder?
No.
Or just getting out of the play.
I'm not even thinking about a Sacramento. You think I'm thinking about matchups in the playoffs?
That's what I wanted to see. Yes, if you're the 9 seed, you can only get to the 8. I understand that, but 9 is not a death sentence.
It is.
It's one game for your season, and one game for your season when both these teams are presumably not that good. You have a great chance.
But the Clippers are. I don't know what's wrong with the Clippers.
They just had the Clippers. They were a 1/12 of an inch away from beating the Clippers. They were a swipe on the hand away from beating the Clippers. Without Malik Monk or Domantas Sabonis.
And if they're in the 9, I'm going to sit there with my pom-poms and say, "You got this, Kings. You got this," and not actually believe it at all. Let's get to that Malik sound on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? What if you could create more impact in every decision? What if you had a partner as visionary as you are? With Bank of America, you get access to our trusted experts, real-time insights, and digital tools. So whether you run a local shop or a global enterprise, you're backed by business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. You know I'm a big guy, right, everybody? So sometimes, even my SUV or sedan, I want a little more space. Maybe I want to take the fellas to the football game or to the basketball game. Maybe I want to go golfing. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has the perfect solution. They have a Vans Fleet Center, and they understand your business needs. They understand your personal needs as well. They have a great inventory and a huge selection, and plus they have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter, alongside those reliable diesel options. So if you're looking for a new van just for personal reasons, or even for your business fleet, head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And get this, you can take advantage of their exclusive limited time 0% APR financing offer for up to 60 months on select models. So head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbfstockton.com and tell them Drape sent you.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Gurrington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've always wanted to be a part of that Jeep life, there's no better time than now than the 2025 Jeep Wrangler. And no one has a better selection than Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The Jeep Wrangler has been unmatched in off-road capability for over 80 years. But Being a Jeep owner, it's so much more than the performance on and off the road. It's a lifestyle. It's camaraderie. It's the versatility and the customization. The new Jeep Wrangler, it's better than ever. And you won't be able to find a better car buying experience or selection than at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
We rely heavily on our HVAC systems during the cold valley winters and hot valley summers. That's why there are so many HVAC companies out there. So when you need a new system or a tune-up, where do you turn? I turned to Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Once our heater checked out, we checked in at leesair.com. The entire experience exceeded our high expectations. You want prompt service from people who know what they're doing, can save you money, and will treat you right? For your HVAC needs, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, on the web at leesair.com. Ask about their $99 HVAC tune-up service, license number 635355.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
All right. We've teased it enough. Let's hear from Malik Monk and what he had to say about the team after that beatdown in Golden 1. Here it is.
They just outworked us. Came in, like you said, was out physicaling us. And yeah, man, they just punked us tonight. We didn't get no loose balls. They was beating us to every loose ball. So yeah, they just outplayed us tonight. Not to feel this feeling again, especially this late in the season. This is tough race, man, in the West right now. So a loss like this can either turn the season around or go downhill. So I feel like we're gonna turn it around with this. Talk to the guys, and yeah, we got to figure it out. Yeah, get people more involved. I feel like because we get a little stagnant on on offensive end. So I got to just give up myself scoring wise to make plays for other guys, just to get the ball moving, get everything flowing together. And I feel like that'll get our defense better because you can't really run when you're taking the ball out the net. You don't really feel good on defense when you're not making shots too. So all of that play a little bit together, but I feel like I'm going to sacrifice myself a little more with the scoring and just get everybody else involved.
Great stuff from Malik Monk. Kyle, I'm looking at this here. Since 2021, the Kings are 2-8 against the New York Knicks.
Huh.
They won, of course, Beam Team season, March 9th, 2023.
Oh, yeah, that one at Golden Ones. I remember I was working that game, and there was a stat. It was the first time in, I think it was 20 years, that the Knicks and Kings were both above 500 playing against each other.
And with that being said, to that point, I'm going down here. The last time that they lost, the last time the Kings won in Madison Square Garden was 2019.
Ooh.
2019.
Do you possibly have that box score up there?
Let's see if I can have it. Yeah, that game. It was Harrison Barnes played 40 minutes.
Was he the leading scorer?
Nemanja Bjelica played 24 minutes. He was not the leading scorer because De'Aaron Fox was the leading scorer at 24, but he healed had 22. Harrison Barnes had 19. Rashawn Holmes had 14. And this is crazy. RJ Barrett had 22. Marcus Morris Sr. had 28.
Wait, RJ Barrett was on the team. He had to be a rookie at that point.
Julius Randle had 8. Bobby Portis had 2. Yeah. Alonzo Trier had 11.
Wow, starting at point guard, Frank Ntilikina. That's crazy. Steph Curry calls him something different.
Kevin Knox had 2 points.
Oh,
Wayne Ellington played 25
my gosh,
minutes.
Ignas Brazdeikis. I haven't thought of that name in so long. Oh my gosh.
That was the last time. And I bring it up because Malik talking about, getting punked. Yeah, they tend to get punked against the Knicks. They tend to get punked. 2-8 their last 10 games. And it's just rough stuff, man. It's rough stuff. And I wanted to believe without Jalen Brunson, I wanted to believe there's a lot of production there, and that's what's so funny. We spend all this time. I think the problem is we spend all this time when the Kings are missing pieces. Oh, who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? The Knicks miss, and don't get me wrong, they lost the last 2 games, and I think that is I don't know how to take this, because they had lost 3 straight, right? The Knicks had, and the most recent 2 that they lost with no Jalen Brunson. So they had gone through some rough times without Jalen Brunson, and I think they saw, okay, no Sabonis, we got to get this one, guys. We can't just keep dropping these games. They're in a decent spot as the 3 seed. They got space in front of them and space behind them in the 3 seed. They're kind of all alone there. But hey, guys, we got to get one, and we play pretty well against the Kings typically. Meanwhile, you have the Kings, who they're coming off their loss against the Clippers. They did win against the Spurs, but that was kind of a footnote because of the loss against the Nuggets. So it was kind of 2 battles of wills, and the Knicks were just able to get it done.
I think the way you should feel is probably just flush it and stop thinking about the Knicks at this point, because
it's always a loss to me.
Yeah.
It's always, whenever the Kings play the Knicks, is a loss.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks are a really good offensive team, and in a way, subtracting Jalen Brunson ended up not mattering in this game.
But that's what I'm saying. It didn't matter against the Kings.
Yes.
It mattered against the Clippers, who they lost to, and they had lost. I know they lost to the Lakers, but they had lost to the Clippers, and you know what it was? They lost to the Warriors before they came out west without Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yep.
So they just said, hey, guys, we're just not whole right now, but we can't keep dropping games. So they had lost 3 straight, 1 without Karl-Anthony Towns, 1 with Brunson, and then without Brunson, and then 1 straight up without Brunson.
Yeah, and not to dive too deep in the weeds on the New York Knicks, the Knicks are going to win a first-round playoff series and then get smoked by either Cleveland or Boston. That's just where this thing is headed for them. Their ceiling is probably a second-round exit team, but to that point, a short-handed second-round exit team just got smoked the Kings out the paint, which, again, weird game last night because all of those dudes were so tired.
Mm-hmm.
So, and no Jake LaRavia, who just after our show showed up on the injury report and then wasn't playing. So now I'm kind of worried about Jake LaRavia. So, again, weird game. The circumstances themselves, if the Kings had lost that game by 3 points, we would not be feeling the same way as losing by 30. And if the Kings had lost this game in November instead of March, we would not be feeling the same way we are today.
Yeah.
So I feel like trying to dissect what it means for losing to a shorthanded Knicks or this or that, I feel like it's just a futile exercise because it really doesn't matter. We know what this Knicks team is. We know what their ceiling would be with or without Jalen Brunson.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still, if anybody has been I'm not here to kind of discuss how anything happened or what it looks like. These losses are all losses. So, you don't get a Jalen Brunson. It's just opportunities that you're missing, right? The way you could look at it is, hey, well, you didn't get it done against the Nuggets or the Clippers, and you kind of got given a gift from the basketball gods, and you couldn't take advantage of it with Jalen Brunson. And not only did you not take advantage of it, you got embarrassed. So that is something where it's okay. It's just another game that you dropped. At some point, you got to make up for this stuff, but you have to make up for it against good teams. There's no bad teams to make up for it against. We just looked at the strength of schedule. So that's also part of it. There's nowhere to, okay, we're going to get these games back. There's no time for that.
Well, let me ask you a question. So if you had to guess who are the championship contenders in your mind, like who are the teams that can win the championship this year?
Thunder, Lakers, Warriors, Celtics, Cavs.
Man, the Nuggets are just continuing to be disrespected.
I'll throw the Nuggets.
Gosh, okay.
Thunder, Nuggets, Lakers, Warriors, Cavs, Celtics.
Okay, so those 6 teams.
Yeah.
So the second tier you would argue is your Memphis, Houston, New York Knicks, maybe the Bucks,
Yeah.
something like that. So if you go back to that stat Chris Biederman had before about the 12-21 against teams with an above 500 record,
right?
If we dissected that even more, the Kings are 12-12 against teams that are above 500. And I guess they played Boston once. So I guess against those non-championship contender teams, they are essentially 12-12 because they're 0-9 against the Thunder, the Lakers, and the Nuggets. They're 0-9 this season against those three teams.
Yeah.
So, the Warriors are kind of their own weird thing because they're 0-1 against the new Warriors, but beat the old Warriors twice. So it's its own weird thing. But I would say the Kings are struggling against the cream of the crop teams, but not against the above 500 teams in the West, which gives me pause to say the Kings might just be on the same level as a Memphis or a Houston or a Minnesota, because their problem is not play, or even the New York Knicks, their problem is not playing those teams as an aggregate. Their problem is the top teams. They're just getting smoked out the building every single time.
Yeah. Well, look, the bottom line is I don't think you're wrong, but that's not where they're at in the standings, and they're now not winning those games as the couple games. And I know they just beat the Rockets, but you're going to have now these games are not turning into nice to haves. It doesn't matter if Allen Stiles calls it a must win or not. The bottom line is that they need these numbers. They need wins in the win column. And if you don't have them, you're playing for your life. All right, let's get to the biggest winner of the night, because it was not anyone on the Sacramento Kings, but it was someone in the Golden One Center. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary, not guaranteed.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Nine 916-339-1140. I know, everybody. Alan, what is there? I want to call and complain. I hear ya. After a game like last night, I mean, it's not even a game. You know, you feel like the parent. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm not actually mad.
You're finally adjusting expectations.
Yeah. I'm not actually mad. I was mad about the Nuggets. I was really mad about the Clippers. I was more mad about the Clippers than the Nuggets. But the game last night, you're just disappointed, and you kind of understand, right? You understand. Oh my goodness. You know, now one of these stinkers, it was going to happen eventually, and it happened. But what do you now do about it? What do you do about it? You just sit there and take it and be a 9 seed and lay down. Even if you still get the 9 seed, you want a good bit of momentum. Let's say that the Clippers just get hot, right? The Clippers get hot and the Kings are they're still doing it. They're playing well and they're not able to catch the Clippers. At least you can go into the play-in as the 9 seed feeling like, hey, we can beat anybody right now, right? Let's say, and again, in terms of the adjusting expectations, let's say the Kings end the season and you look at the gauntlet that they've had. Let's say they win 2 out of 4, realistically, between the Cavs, Bucks, Celtics, Thunder. Okay, they don't play them all in a row, but it goes Grizzlies, Cavs, Bulls, Bucks, Celtics, Thunder. Let's say you make it out of March, right? Hey, we beat the Celtics twice. Hey, we beat the Thunder and we beat the Bucks. Hey, we beat the Cavs and we beat the Thunder. We beat the number 1 team in the East and the number 1 team in the West. But the Clippers, they don't let up, right? So you're still the 9 seed, but I'd argue all 9 seeds are created equal. Hey, guys, we knew that it was going to be tough in March, right? We dropped some tough ones, but I think that we were resilient. Yeah, we're the 9 seed, but I'll tell you what, we got to be the most dangerous 9 seed that the league has seen in a while.
The 9 seed in the East right now is Orlando, and Orlando is completely in bad vibes territory.
So not all 9 seeds are created equal, you know? So I know that it's not moral victory. You know me, it's not moral victory. It's reality. You do not, remember when De'Aaron said we don't control our own destiny in December? They actually now don't. But now it's March. We are approaching the middle of March, not in December, De'Aaron, but now in the middle of March. Yeah, now you actually don't really control your destiny. And you still kind of do if you don't lose a game. You still actually do. You don't control your destiny as far as maybe getting out of the play-in, but you control your destiny as far as not being the 9 seed. You're going to have to get hotter than you've been all season, or not all season. You dig deep into whatever Doug found when he first got named head coach. I know it was a different team, but you've done it before, or some of you have done it before, so it's not done.
Would playing the schedule game with this version, that would make you too sad?
We are not doing that.
That would make you too sad at this point?
Yes, there is no shot we're doing that. What we do want to do, Kyle, you have the sound, the MVP of the night, and no, we're not giving it to anybody on the New York Knicks. This is someone that got selected by the Kings, our guy, Scott Freshour, to, what is it? It's not called the Magic Pump. Perfect pump.
Yes.
It's called perfect pump.
The perfect pump game, which for those of you who haven't been to a Kings game, I feel like we should explain. So they bring out like an Arco gas tank, like a real gas tank, and kind of like the Price is Right game, they put a number up, and you have to try and hold the pump. You've played this game at the gas station before, right? Where you try and get it to exactly on the dot. Like if you miss $49.99. You try and go all the way back around until you get to $51. So the goal is to hit as close to $25 as you can. And they have 3 contestants do it. So this is Tommy, who does the pump. Tries to get, what'd you call it, the perfect pump?
Perfect pump.
All right, we're going to go with Tom. Tom, good luck, dude. Attempt the perfect pump.
Up.
So close. He just got a perfect pump, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. Tommy with the perfect pump.
He hit it exactly on.
He hit it exactly on. The reason the reaction was kind of weird is because, 3 people do it. So Tom wasn't last.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing the wheel on The Price is Right and you get the $1, but then 2 people have to go after you, and then they might also get $1.
So I think everybody was in shock. So I wish that would have happened.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Tommy.
I wish that would have happened if he went last, but that was the perfect pump right there.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Tommy.
Tommy.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Tommy.
Can you cut the perfect pump part at the beginning?
All right, we're going to go with Tom. Tom, good luck, dude. Attempt the perfect pump.
Is that what you were talking about?
The perfect pump.
The perfect pump.
Yeah.
Says Scott Freshour.
So that went viral. House of Highlights picked that up. So Tom had a good old time, and his pump was perfect.
Attempt the perfect pump.
That's right. I was gonna say, I don't know. I got
the perfect pump.
Normally I listen to Carmichael Dave to make sure to see what things I can and can't say on the air.
I saw the Sickos committee kind of reposted it, and they were like, this is the equivalent of the Dr. Pepper toss, but for dads.
Yes.
Like the fact that this guy hit the perfect pump.
The perfect pump.
That's right. Tommy.
Oh, Tommy.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Tommy.
Great stuff from the perfect pump of Tommy.
This went like mega viral too. It wasn't quite like the guy who hits the half court shot to win a car or nowadays $2,000, but this went kind of viral with Tommy because he does like a little fist pump also. Like Tommy is like, I've been here before, man. Tommy hits the perfect pump and he's just like, fist clenched, let's go. I've been here before. I knew it. I had it. Like he's not even like jumping, celebrating like everyone.
I can't even lie to you. At the gas station, my OCD is so off the charts. I will slow it down and just do the little the clench to get to an even number.
Which
I don't actually play the game that much because I'm just so insane.
Which honestly, in hindsight, is a complete waste, right? 6 cents worth of gas is not worth the 6 cents.
It matters to me.
Because if you're the guy at the tank, just fill it up to the next $1 or fill it up. Like if you just,
but it just has to be an even number to me. So if it doesn't have to be an even, it doesn't have to be an even number. It just can't have any sense. So
you want it?
It could be $47. That's fine.
You
don't
want
have to go to 50.
I do one of 2 things. I either get it to 99 because I feel better looking at $48.99 instead of $49.
Yeah.
Or the other thing I try to do is like 25-25 or 33-33. Like make the numbers all match up.
Yeah. There you go. Well, shout out
the perfect pump.
Shout out Tommy and his perfect pump. I don't even know what he won.
I don't know what they give away for it, but he got the perfect pump. You know what Tommy won? According to this House of Highlights video I'm looking at right now, Tommy won 4 million people getting to see him hit.
That's
the
right.
Perfect pump.
Tommy, great stuff there from Tommy.
The perfect pump.
And back to, that was a brief respite. And as I get back to the text line, 916, guys, It's time to stop being delusional. Let's all say it together. The season is over. It's not.
Tommy!
It's not over.
Tommy!
It's not over. Not for Tommy and not for the Kings.
It's all going to come down to 2 games, guys. 2 games is going to decide the season. That's not a terrible situation to be in.
But why do you keep saying that, though?
Because the entire season is like, as much as we want to say it's cooked or this good thing is going to happen, ultimately you just win 1 game and you're in, basically.
You're talking about the play-in.
Yes,
I see what you're
everything of the interim beam team since they traded for De'Aaron Fox and Valanciunas, it's all going to come down to 2 games. One probably at Golden One Center for the 10-9 game,
right,
and another one against the Clippers or the Timberwolves or somebody, where they're just going to have to go on the road and win 1 game against teams they've either beaten this year or only lost to on triple bounce buzzer beaters.
I'm not arguing the injury likelihood. All I'm saying is in the last couple, and it's been bad this season, and I don't like seeing it, but it just goes to my larger point of we don't know what's going to happen. The Kings need to start winning basketball games, okay, against teams that actually matter. Because one thing I will say is that at least the Kings, if they are in a position to get into the playoffs, they would have had to beat some good teams. If they keep losing to bad teams, honestly, they might still be the 9th seed, but they could slip to the 10th seed, whatever it is. Hold on. My point is, you can't keep losing to bad teams and then expect, even if it's just the Clippers, to turn it on. That's why these games have bothered me. Not even the standings. I want you to beat good teams. That's what I want. So I'm looking here and I'm thinking, okay, well, they got the Bucks, they got the Cavs, and they got the Celtics. Maybe they'll get outclassed, but I'm actually to the point where I'm glad that we'll at least see if this team is worth anybody's time. I will say that, because if you just lose, if you lay down, can you compete against any of these good teams or great teams, I should say?
I guess my point, and this is kind of going to the texter's point and not yours, which is even if the Kings don't beat some of these good teams, season still comes down to 2 games. They could beat the Thunder.
Oh, no, I know.
And I wouldn't give up on the season if you're any of these people, because ultimately you don't even have to play great. Honestly, the Clippers could go 4 for 17 from 3-point range in a play-in game, and all of a sudden you're in it. Maybe you just are better than the Clippers. They were basically better than the Clippers for 48 minutes of a 53-minute game on Sunday. Even if they lose these games, they're still going to be the 9. They're still going to be the 10. They just have to win 2 games.
Yeah. And on top of that, coming back to what has happened so far in just the last couple of weeks, we saw Jalen Brunson go down. We saw LeBron James go down. We've seen Domantas Sabonis go down. We've seen Malik Monk go down. We've seen so many players go down, and not serious injury, but all it takes is, they're out a week, or they're out a couple weeks, or they're not fully healthy, or whatever it is. I'm not talking about teams that the Kings have to face. I'm just saying in general, this thing could go anywhere, but you do have to start winning games. You do. On the other side, a golf great ends up with another tough, catastrophic injury. We will tell you who that is, and we will go over some of the moves that have happened throughout the NFL, especially with the Niners. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call Invent Help today. We have representatives nationwide and services to showcase your invention. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380.
Spring is in the air, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, a huge spring savings for you today.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
When you partner with CDW, your people get more out of technology. CDW AI architects deliver Microsoft services to automate tasks and boost productivity, helping sales reps connect with more customers. Remote teams collaborate seamlessly, and small businesses compete at scale. That's amazing. Make amazing happen. Microsoft and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/modernwork.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb, expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer, $149 or less, ends soon. One expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients at Federal Returns. Participating locations open. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
You've heard the saying, penny wise, pound foolish, right? It means you do something that will save you a little bit right now, just pennies, but that ends up costing you pounds in the end.
People put off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time or spend the money to get it done.
But it only takes 90 minutes and costs just $87, which is just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up.
You'll also save money on your energy bills, and your system will last longer.
So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Call Bell Brothers for a precision tune-up and professional cleaning today.
Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In the shag bag, the renovation of Poppy Ridge Golf Course in Livermore, California continues on schedule for a reopening this year. Architect Jay Blasey's design assures a golf course we can look forward to playing a few months down the road. Check poppyridgegolf.ncga.org for updates. And Rod Metzler, PGA with Coursco, reports that the Campus Commons Golf Course continues to grow in after a complete redesign and is also scheduled to reopen in the next couple of months. I'm hearing a lot of talk about the nighttime crowd at the Hagen Oaks driving range with their Top Tracer technology. You'll find accomplished players alongside newbies searching for that first center of the club face experience that brings them back for more. The order of the evening is fun, so it might be worth a look. National Golf Foundation reports 45 million Americans over the age of 6 played golf both on course and off course in 2023. When can we count you on that list? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
One o'clock on the dot. Look, if you are struggling with the Sacramento Kings, there's plenty of basketball and good basketball to watch. You have March Madness heating up, and the big conferences are rocking and rolling right now. Men's basketball, women's basketball. So there's plenty of you don't have to, just dwell. And these next couple days are going to be tough, right? Because they don't play again until Thursday. And I don't even know if I'm ready to see them play against the Warriors, man. Oh, how the tables have turned. Because it was all good just a couple months ago when the Kings were beating down on the Warriors, first of all, in San Francisco, and second of all, when it was Steph and Guy Santos in Golden One, and they were quadruple teaming Steph. But that team is not around anymore.
Hey, you heard him, people. You want to watch good quality basketball? Then I recommend tonight at 4:00 you watch the St. Francis Red Flash take on the Central Connecticut Blue Devils the NEAC championship game. One of those two teams will be playing in March Madness on a 14 line, and you're going to pick them on your bracket.
That's right. And one of you is going to be right. All right.
Those Blue Devils are 25-6, man. I think that's your team.
Around the league, or I should say around the sports world, as I mentioned, Tiger Woods is the golfer that has injured himself once again. Unfortunately, Tiger Woods announces that he's ruptured his Achilles. This is what he had to say. As I began to ramp up my own training and practice at home, I felt a sharp, I can't read this. I felt a sharp pain in my left Achilles, which was deemed to be ruptured. This morning, Dr. Charlton Stucken of Hospital for Special Surgery in West Palm Beach, Florida, performed a minimally invasive Achilles tendon repair for a ruptured tendon. The surgery went smoothly, and we expect a full recovery, added Dr. Stucken. I am back home now and plan to focus on my recovery and rehab. Thank you for all the support. Yeah, man, I wonder what he was doing because, Tiger, he kind of changed how golfers are viewed from a workout body standpoint. He's a built dude. So I don't know that he actually ruptured it playing golf. My guess is that he was doing some real deal training, and that's how it got ruptured. And that's the same one that I ruptured as well, my left. So I'm feeling for you, Tig. It's going to be a long road, and let's see how old Tig. I know you can play for forever, but
I think I'm going to guess celebrity birthdays 48.
He is 49. He will be 50 in December. So that's rough. That is rough for Eldrick Taunt Woods. That's going to be a tough go for Tiger Woods, out indefinitely. And, at this point, whenever he can get out, I just want to see him with Charlie Woods, honestly. I think that's what it comes down to.
You do care about that at this point?
About watch. I mean, it's just fun to watch him play. I don't have it. I was going to say TiVoed, but you don't know what that is. I don't have it, set to record on my TV, but I like watching the highlights. Sure.
Okay. No, I was just curious because I feel kind of weird being like, oh my gosh, here comes Charlie Woods, the next great golfer with his dad. I feel kind of weird with all of that because he's like 14 or 15 years old and also probably not going to be.
No, well, he's not.
I don't know.
Did Tiger say something like he was better than me at this age, or am I making that?
I don't know. I
hope he didn't. I hope he did not say that.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I'm just like, man, just enjoy whatever retirement looks like for him. He's done enough. You know that Colin Cowherd meme where it's like, hey, LeBron, we're good.
We got Ben Simmons.
Tiger, we're good.
We got Charlie Woods now.
We've got that Netflix show, which honestly was kind of interesting. My roommate was watching it, and I kind of tuned in for an episode. I was like, you know what? Not terrible. But at the same time, like, the only reason to keep watching Tiger Woods actually play golf is for his son, which even I am like, I can't get interested in that, more so because I just feel bad putting that attention and pressure on the Suns.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's a big reason why a lot of these kids just don't even play the same sport. You got to be built for it, right? And if Charlie is deciding to play golf, because I do believe that when you have as much money as Tiger Woods has, you don't make your kid do something. I feel like a lot of the parents that make their kids do something is because they did not fulfill something in their own life, and they're hoping that the kid will go to heights that they haven't been to. Tiger knows that Charlie is probably not going to be him. So I can't see, and I could be completely wrong on this, but I can't see Tiger saying, no, you have to play and you have to be even better than me, even though I'm arguably the best of all time. I don't see that happening. I just think that Charlie sees his dad playing and he wants to do it. I think it's very similar with Bronny and Bryce. You know, I don't think that LeBron sat there and said, y'all have to play. I think the people that do that, and I know he just dealt with, a situation in his own life, but those are the LeVar Balls of the world. It's, hey, I got a plan for you to do something that I didn't do. What did he play, D2 or something like that? But guys that play in the league and that have legitimate, legacies, they don't force their kids to then have another legacy. It's those who don't have legacies that say, hey, you are going to bring this family a legacy. So if Charlie Woods is playing, he understands, maybe not fully, but honestly, don't sleep on those kids that are just kind of born in the spotlight. Charlie Woods knows what he's getting into, and that's why I'm watching.
Yeah, Charlie Woods was literally born into the spotlight when you talk about he was born around the time of everything that was happening with Tiger Woods and his downfall. So I understand that part of it. I guess I just don't really, even if he's like keenly aware of what he's doing and wants that, I feel like it's not interesting. And at the same time, I feel icky kind of putting that expectation on the child when the odds, regardless of genetics.
But we're just watching.
But you're not even watching the Waste Management Open. Like people.
It's Charlie Woods. Why do you think Bronny is packing? And I know he's been playing pretty well, but why do you think Bronny is packing wherever the hell they play, the 509 Lakers? Why do you think he's doing that? Because people want to see that LeBron's genes do something.
I think it's that
but nobody thinks he's going to be better or as good as LeBron.
No, but I think the LeBron Tiger things are comparable because I think for a while LeBron was bigger than the NBA and I think Tiger was bigger than golf.
Yeah.
But I feel like it does those sports a disservice to then be like, let's pay more attention to their children than the product that's actually out there, which is unrelated to the Charlie Woods aspect of it. It's just answering your point of like, yes, people are going to watch and pay attention because those people were for a time bigger than the sports that they represented.
Well, I also think that what has gotten a bit lost in this is me personally, I've always been big on prep sports in general. I love seeing who's next up. I follow a bunch of different, I follow a bunch of different scouts where you get the 14-year-old Dominican that just signed somewhere. I'm watching all of this, or the kid who just signed to Tennessee. That's what I've always enjoyed. I think people always like seeing what's next more so than what is actually happening. And I will also say that golf right now is in a tough spot because golf is pretty dang boring right now. If nobody cared about so-and-so's son while Tiger was playing because the actual sport was exciting. Everybody's looking for what's next because there is no great right now. Jordan Spieth, and so everybody's, and maybe to your point, they are unfortunately trying to think, hey, maybe Charlie will be the next great.
I don't know. Based on the 30 minutes of the Full Swing show that I watched, it seems like they're trying to be like, Scotty Scheffler is the best golfer since Tiger.
No, he is, but nobody cares. And that's been the problem with golf.
But I just don't think you're going to get it then. I just think you can't capture that. And maybe golf is going to try and squeeze every last dollar out of the Tiger Woods name that they can.
They should.
And then they're going to try and do it with his son, right? They're going to try and squeeze every dollar out of it, which adds to the discomfort of me being like, I don't want to partake in that.
Well, you don't have to, but plenty will.
And I don't find it interesting either. It seems like you're in on the Charlie Woods thing.
I want to see what happens, but I'm not. I feel like I represent most people watching it, and hey, maybe there's something here, but nobody. When you have a generational talent, I don't think anybody is watching thinking his son will also be named the generational talent that also had a seed that was a generational talent.
There's like 4 of them. It's
the Mannings.
I would say the Mannings to a certain extent. I would say the Griffies, even though.
But I don't know that was Ken Griffey Sr. a generation.
I mean, he was an all-star, which I
Right.
feel like in the grand scheme of
That's as
like
close as you're gonna get.
athletes.
That's as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, Barry and Bobby Bonds. Like Bobby Bonds was an all-star, which in the grand scheme of athletes is like,
right.
Yeah, that's really incredible. You were an all-star in
Right.
Major League Baseball. So like, there's like 4.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think basketball or golf have any. I don't think there's like multi-generational golf stars.
Well, couldn't you argue Arvidas and Domantas?
I guess. I mean, they're both NBA All-Stars, which I guess in the grand scheme of things, you're right. But I think we're going to start seeing more of this.
Del Curry ever get an All-Star?
I mean, he's the all-time leading scorer, or now second all-time leading scorer in Hornets history. But
Michael Thompson ever get All-Star?
But it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not those guys.
But that's what I'm saying. So I don't think anybody's expecting it. But everybody thinks, hey, maybe it'll finally happen, right? But I don't think most people are expecting it. 916 says Charlie Woods would have to earn his tour card. They do not hand those out. Yeah, I do feel like Tiger is the type of dad that would say, hey, I'm not, gonna make a call. You're gonna earn this yourself. That's how Tiger always said his dad was. So if Charlie's story does continue, it's because he actually did it.
Yeah, but like if you've seen that Tiger Woods documentary, I don't know if Tiger Woods' dad is necessarily the best barometer.
I'm just saying, you take bits and pieces of what your parents do.
I'm just saying, Tiger Woods' dad is not the greatest barometer for a good parent.
Well, Tiger's a billionaire. All right, NFL free agency. Let's recap it. Where did things fall for the mid-quarterback carousel, and who did the Niners lose, and will it hurt them? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
I feel so alone. I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
How can I help my kid if I can't help myself?
I can't remember when I wasn't stressed.
I don't want stress.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. CalHope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
We rely heavily on our HVAC systems during the cold valley winters and hot valley summers. That's why there are so many HVAC companies out there. So when you need a new system or a tune-up, where do you turn? I turned to Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Once our heater checked out, we checked in at leesair.com. The entire experience exceeded our high expectations. You want prompt service from people who know what they're doing, can save you money, and will treat you right. For your HVAC needs, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, on the web at leesair.com. Ask about their $99 HVAC tune-up service, license number 6355355.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
I think for this Throwback Thursday, I think Kyle, because I don't know why, but AO from Tyga and Chris Brown popped up somewhere. So I think Thursday we got to go all DJ Mustard, the whole day.
Really?
The whole day.
I mean, we can do that. Honestly,
there's plenty. And you only need about 3 keys on a keyboard in order to do that, and one clap and one bass line.
I'm not even the biggest DJ Mustard guy just in general, but like thinking about it now, we might be able to do that just with music in our sound system already. Like I might be able to find 15 already in our database.
They just don't make music like they used to,
Yeah, but what's so weird to me is I say I'm not a big DJ Mustard guy, and yet I'm a huge R&B guy. It was my number one genre last year, and so many people who I listen to regularly are people who are part of his record label.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I say I don't like him, but then all these artists who partner with him and represent his label, I'm like, yes. So maybe I do like DJ Mustard. I don't know.
I think you do. The 209 says the Detroit Lions are going to be a problem, period. Well, I would say 209, they were supposed to be a problem last season, period. I'm not saying they're not going to be. I'm saying we talked about sports curses last week, and the Lions had some of the worst injury luck we've ever seen, and now they lost their coordinators. This is, it's all about how they replace them. Dan Campbell being more the rah-rah versus the X's and O's guy. How are you going to replace the Ben Johnsons, guys like that? So to me, I hear you, 209, and I am I think Jahmyr Gibbs might end up being one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league in about 1 to 3 years. So I hear you, 209, but they were supposed to be that last season. So let's get to this recap quick. The Raiders acquire Geno Smith for a 3rd-round pick. And how did the Seahawks move forward after that? Well, they signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year deal. The Steelers acquired DK Metcalf, and the Steelers still don't have a quarterback, correct?
They do not.
Okay, so the Steelers, they finally get their wide receiver, and now they have no quarterback.
Are you ready for something desperate?
Aaron Rodgers.
Or bringing back Russell Wilson.
Yeah, well, it won't be Justin Fields because he's headed to New York to pair up with his buddy Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson will be very excited to get his targets back.
Unless Garrett Wilson requests the trade he said he was going to request.
Yeah, well, this might the question is, can Garrett Wilson help Justin Fields remember how to throw? Daniel Jones signing with the Colts to compete with Anthony Richardson. Just a sad state of events for both those young men.
Although I do love that everyone's now calling him Indiana Jones.
That's not bad, and it's bad when someone's got a nickname. They're probably going to take your job, especially if you cannot throw the football like Anthony Richardson and you get tired. I needed a break. Rams signed Devontae Adams to a 2-year deal that essentially, you pair him with Puka Nacua, who Puka Nacua did give up his number, so Devontae Adams could rock 17. I don't know what to do with that yet. I'm just going to have to see it. Somehow the Rams just hang around and hang around. And
now have the youngest defense in the league that also had more sacks in 3 playoff games than any team in NFL history.
I saw Josh Sweat. It's one of the newer moves, but Josh Sweat is now with the Arizona Cardinals, so he comes to the NFC
Yeah, they
West.
cashed him out. Milton Williams, the backup defensive tackle for the Eagles, got $100 million.
Yeah, a lot of money being thrown around. Speaking of, Josh Allen gets 6 years, $330 million from the Bills, and Von Miller was recently cut. And last but not least, Myles Garrett decided to tell everyone that, I just want the money. Myles Garrett gets $160 million from the Browns after demanding a trade, and now the Browns have Kenny Pickett to help out that QB situation. The Myles Garrett thing, I don't even blame him. It's just, and that's how the saying goes, every person has a price. He wanted to win, ... in very small font, or make $160 million. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't.
It was just so weird because he wrote a formal trade request.
Yes.
This wasn't like the agents doing the back channeling thing.
But let me ask you this. How often do we think that happens, right? Let's say somebody who really didn't want the money, right? How often does a trade request happen and the team tries to do a last-ditch effort to keep them and they say no? Maybe a lot of those last-ditch efforts weren't 160, whatever it is relative to that player in order to keep them. The trade request comes in and the team thinks, okay, we'll just move you. It's not out of the ordinary where a trade request happens and the team says, we'll just pay you in any sport, really.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what it was, is everyone has a price. Because I didn't make the note in the detail, but the other part is $160 million, about 70% of it guaranteed, and no trade clause.
If I'm going to be in the suck, you got to pay me to be in the suck. That's basically what he was saying.
And they cashed him out, which was so weird that it happened so fast, right? Like the Browns had no qualms about like, we will pay you whatever you want.
Right.
We will give you a no trade clause. It's fine. Go for it. And after he was basically like, I don't think you guys can possibly be a winner, and I will not renegotiate with you.
Right.
It's such a fascinating saga with the Myles Garrett stuff.
There's no amount of money that can convince me to stay, and then they just slide the check. Are you sure there is no amount of money that could convince you to stay?
And then he said, can I get a no trade clause?
Yes.
And they said yes.
530 says, if Matthew Stafford goes down, Jimmy G is going to be throwing to Devontae Adams again. We are dangerously close from that happening, 530, which is funny because, look, obviously, we hope everybody stays healthy, but feels like Matthew Stafford just had a really healthy season because I don't think we saw Jimmy G.
We saw him in the last game of the season.
Right, but not, not due to injury. So, yeah, it's dangerous, 530, but again, how many teams out there met what Devontae Adams wanted? And maybe it's, well, I mean, he could throw to me for 20 whatever million a year.
This is exactly what I thought was going to happen, but I couldn't really articulate it when we were talking about the Devontae Adams Kansas City thing, which was he's not at the stage of his career where he's going to take a 1-year deal to go play for a true championship contender. But he is at the stage where he's going to take a deal with one of those like second tier teams for a big contract to like compete for a championship, but they're probably going to lose in the second round.
Well, and if you're Devontae Adams, it's been a while since you've even been on a competitive team. I know they went to the playoffs a couple years ago with the Raiders, but it's been a while. So if
that was not with Devontae Adams
before they even got Devontae Adams.
His last playoff. This is going to be crazy. His last playoff game was that snow game where the Niners blocked a punt and kicked the game-winning field goal. That was the last time Devontae Adams played in the playoffs.
So even just being on a competitive team, I think at this point is good enough for him, especially if you're getting paid $46 million. But what did the Niners do? We've talked about the Raiders, other teams around the league. The Raiders cashed out Max Crosby as well. That was a couple weeks ago. What did the Niners do? Is Kyle Juszczyk someone that you will miss? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Meda Chevy sends you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates.
Year-end savings on now with $8,000 off new Silverados at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details.
And now a brief history of the garage door. Garage doors could date back to 450 BC when chariots were stored in gatehouses. Here in the States, they became a thing around the start of the 20th century. You could find a float-over door in a catalog way back in 1906. National Garage Door has been around since 1974. They're family-owned and operated, so you can trust them to solve any garage door issues you may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door Services, their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They are the nation's BSE broken spring experts. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help. Whether it's a garage door tune-up, repair, or replacement you need, they'll take care of you at National Garage Door. 916-638-4554. That's 916-638-4554. National Garage Door.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Carl Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPfest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPfest.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SacktownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It's just underrated. It's an underrated beat.
It has like 1 billion plays on Spotify. What do you mean underrated?
It's underrated.
It's one of the like 500 most popular songs ever. What do you mean?
No. It's got a couple different sounders in. It's underrated.
It's Tyga's most streamed song, other than probably the one that's like
Rack City.
No, I would say that the Taste one.
Oh,
doo-doo.
Also,
not underrated. That has like 2 billion plays.
No, I was gonna say, is that DJ Mustard? But I don't think it is.
He doesn't say mustard at the beginning, so I don't know.
And it's not him. Wow.
Oh no, that's DA.
DA got that. You know.
Yeah. Whose call sign is that?
Whoever that dude is or person.
Is that? I think that might actually be his name. Now that I think about it, his
Devontae Adams.
Producer name.
DA got that.
David Aldridge, surprisingly. Yeah. Washington Post reporter David Aldridge has a second life.
916-339-1140. We have moved away from the Kings for a little bit. They don't play. Yeah, good note from Kyle. Obviously, they don't play again till Thursday, where they head out to the Bay, where I will not be joining them. But will they be able to get a W out there? But the note was just as far as whether or not they'll be practicing, and we'll probably have some sound from them tomorrow.
And I'm going to work on it, but maybe a super secret Kings player.
Oh, well, that would be great.
I'm going to work on it.
It's been, I didn't have a beard the last time we had someone, so that would be outstanding.
There was a lot happening in February. They weren't really making players available for a while. Kind of a lot happening.
Where's the Doug sound?
There we go. I had it.
There we go.
We'll see what we can do.
We'll see what we can do.
If we had to pick, and usually we don't, that's why it's super secret. But you want one of the new guys, right?
I know who they'll. probably lean towards, but I would take anyone, right? We had Keegan. We've had Keon.
We've had Hot Honey Jones.
I would take Zach. I would take Zach. I would take Valanciunas, right? Like you said, the new guys. I would still take DeMar DeRozan. Still haven't had DeMar on.
What about your favorite guy?
I would take Jake, but if he's injured, if he's not playing, he's got to get his treatment. So we got to be careful there.
You're saying he might not be there?
That's right.
Would you settle for Markelle Fultz?
Sure. Yes, I would take Markelle, and if we can get anybody, that would be great.
Well, we're gonna work on it, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, the Niners are working on clearing out the books, and as a lot of Niner fans kind of worried about what's happening, as oh my goodness, Kyle Juszczyk and his wife's jackets, how will we ever survive? Ian Rappaport says this is what really good organizations do. This is what he had to say.
About the 49ers, I'm sure their fans are going crazy. I'm sure. But this is what really good teams should do, right? You should let guys who are looking for third contracts or guys who you can't afford to pay leave, and you draft and develop behind them. Like that's what, for the Patriots for years did that. The Ravens do it. Steelers do it. Like the Chiefs certainly do it. The really good teams can let their big ticket free agents go, knowing that they have the confidence in the personnel department to draft behind it.
There you have it. And who did the Niners lose? Well, they released Kyle Juszczyk after 8 seasons with the team. Elijah Mitchell and Jalen Moore both headed to the Kansas City Chiefs. Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw. I think those are maybe two of the tougher ones, because Dre Greenlaw obviously dealt with that Achilles in the Super Bowl, and then obviously he's out, and Talanoa Hufanga dealt with a ton of injuries, never really got to evolve as a player. Both of those guys are headed to Denver with the Broncos. Aaron Banks, $77 million to join the Green Bay Packers. Charvarius Ward, $60 million to join the Colts. Obviously, he dealt with some tragedies. Just kind of a tough ending for Charvarius Ward.
And they gave Diamador Lenore that big contract was maybe going to go to him.
So you have Charvarius Ward headed to Indiana. They release Javon Hargrave, Leonard Floyd, and Malik Collins, and Josh Dobbs signing with the Patriots. And I asked the question, I mean, he's got the best job in the world, right? Josh Dobbs, is that the best job to have? I wouldn't want to travel as much, but backup quarterback, sure, I'd love to be the guy. But once you're married with kids, it's like, hey, I'm not running these streets anymore anyway. Let me just be a backup QB.
I mean, I guess, but doesn't he have to kind of compete with Joe Milton?
No, he doesn't have to do anything. He's just there.
So he's the emergency third quarterback? Or
you can make me second string, you can make me third string. I don't care as long as the check clears.
Yeah, after that one season where he played for 4 teams in one season, and then the next year played for the Cardinals, or he started on Cleveland and then went to Arizona and then went to the Vikings. I think he's like, I got it made now. I've proven my worth.
Right.
Someone's always going to take a chance on me as a backup quarterback. That's the crazy thing about backup quarterbacks is once you've proven yourself one time, it's like you're cashed out forever.
I mean, Kenny Pickett when did Kenny Pickett actually prove himself and people are still paying him?
No, see, I don't think Kenny Pickett is there yet, though. I think Kenny Pickett, people are still betting on the potential.
Yeah, which is also insane.
The one I'm thinking of is Heineke, right? Heineke had that one season where he went on a run to the playoffs, and 5 years later, he's still getting paid as someone's backup quarterback.
Well, I'm just looking up now that we're down this road. So, wait, do I have this right? Did Mitch Trubisky sign with the Bills after the whole debacle in Chicago?
Yes.
Go to the Steelers and then go back to the Bills?
I think he might have gone yes, but let me just
Yes. He was in Chicago. He did a year with the Bills, did 2 years with the Steelers, and now he's back with the Bills.
Yeah, he got cashed out by the Steelers because they believed that he could be the guy. When honestly,
all he did was sit the bench for the Bills.
No, all they did was sign him and then immediately draft his replacement in Kenny Pickett. And by the way, they still won 9 games that year.
Now that's a career that is worth having, right?
But this is the difference between the backup quarterbacks. There's the backup quarterbacks that are former top picks. that you're still believing in the potential, like Mariota, Trubisky.
No, Mariota is not still in that category.
All these guys are that category.
No.
Mariota's only like 2 years older than Trubisky.
Mariota, he's the same draft class as Jameis Winston.
Yes, which is 2 years older than Trubisky. Trubisky's 30.
No, Mariota is actually, he's kind of a weird case where he's closer to Heineke than Trubisky.
No.
Yes.
There's the
Kyle.
people who were picked in the first round who are still just hanging around. And then there's the undrafted guys or the 6th round picks that are still hanging around, right? Like Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush did it one time, and someone's going to cash him out in free agency this year. Trey Lance.
No.
They're betting on the potential.
No.
Trey Lance is in the Mariota.
No, he's not, Kyle.
For example.
No, he's literally not even close to that, Kyle.
Yeah, he's in the camp of you're betting on the potential.
No, neither of them are in either of those camps because Mariota is just a vet and Trey Lance is jobless.
But I'm saying the people who are former first-round picks are the ones who are waiting to be Teddy Bridgewater. And what I mean by that is they're just waiting for that one team that's going to pay them like a fringe starter. It happened for Trubisky.
Yeah.
It might happen for some of these guys. Example, Zach Wilson.
He's in Miami now.
Yeah, Zach Wilson's holding out hope.
Yes.
That if Tua gets another concussion, he could have that one run that convinces that one team to pay him.
Yes.
Not change his career, just trick a team to pay him $30 million.
That's all he needs. So crazy stuff happening in the NFL. I don't know. I know people discussed maybe Luke Farrell, who the Niners signed, could be a version of Kyle Juszczyk in some way. I saw a crazy number that he had caught. He didn't have a touchdown and hadn't caught a pass. Some people thought that the 3 years for $20 million was a little rich for the Niners' blood, but I guess he's a really good blocker.
It's also really a 2-year, $12 million deal. It's not. It's $320 by name, but there's like no guaranteed money in the last year. Also, hey, they might get Joey Bosa.
Yeah, and I just kind of want it to happen so people stop talking about it because I don't know. Because you know what? For all the people that just never want to say anything bad about the Niners that want this to happen, if it happens and it doesn't work, right? Nick Bosa isn't any better, or Joey Bosa, just like he's been in Los Angeles, just can't stay healthy. Then what will you do? Because there are people, I will not name names. There are people out there really just, this is the move. Okay, this is the move. That's the move.
Remember all those years ago during, 2023, when people were like, the second string pass rushing unit for the Niners is better than some teams first with Randy Gregory.
Well, don't get me started because I'm going to get in trouble. But I do recall there were people out there that said that this team was, in the media, that said this team that just finished, and I know there were injury, better than the Super Bowl team. So, there's always reasons for everything. Some of it is just football. Some of it is just bad luck. But the Niners keep doing everything right besides winning number 6. Whitey Gleason joins us on the other side to close out the show. A little bit of crosstalk. Allen Stiles, Sack on Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good, and they do good too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
Spring is in the air, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping for new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes. So it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Shop top brand tires at Big O with the lowest tire price guarantee. Now through March 16th at Big O Tires, get up to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Toyo tires. Installation required, disposal fees extra, not good without offers. See Big O dealer for details.
You're home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Do we want to just go ahead and make this Whitey's theme song for Crosstalk? Because I feel like it's at least been played at least 60% of the time when we do Crosstalk.
No, it's either this or Huey Lewis and the News.
Hey, it's whose name is on the show? Allen Stiles?
That's right.
So you decide. You tell us.
Well, I'm just saying, this can be your, everybody knows when this comes on, Whitey's here.
Okay, great.
I like if you were, I know you said you were listening. I like a process, Then I know, okay, it's time for Crosstalk.
Aren't these guys coming to Aftershock? Are they going to be at Aftershock?
You told me that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that about to happen already? Are we that far in life?
Creeping up on
the
it.
Year. So I know you're going to have Mike Green on. That's going to be
bang
crazy. You saw him. He was in the building. Monica McNutt
Bang.
in the building. A lot of the big names. And that's just New York for you.
What was the most interesting Knicks jersey you saw last night?
I saw Larry Johnson. I saw kind of a weird, it had like snow on it or something, Walt Frazier.
Let me ask you a question.
Were there any Ignas Brazdeikis?
No, but I think there was a spree, which was kind of interesting.
Well, no, I see that. You were at the game, right? And at one point, I couldn't tell when the Kings scored or when the Knicks scored, right? How many people in there out of the I don't know, what would you call it? Maybe 70-30? Is that too much? 30% Knicks fans? That feel right?
I wouldn't have said that. Maybe
80-20.
Right. They were just louder because Kings fans had nothing to cheer about.
Out of that 20%, how many of those Knicks fans? How many of those Knicks fans from New York?
I don't know.
No, but how many? I don't have an issue
with that.
How many?
How would I know that?
And then how many have even been to New York? And then you boil that down. It's just ridiculous with this stuff. I don't know why it bugs me.
I would make the argument that New York Knicks fans outside of New York are the most loyal Knicks fans, because that means you're choosing a team that's been awful for 20 years.
Yeah, but they had a cousin who had a bagel shop. It's just enough.
How about the Knicks fans who watched that whole thing last night back home?
Yeah, 7:30. Don't do that ever again.
10:42 local tip, but the good news is, Whitey, it's a city that never sleeps.
That's right.
And you know what? Good on the Knicks for really, you could just tell that they care about their fans more than the Kings do, because they said, hey, we're not going to make you stay up late. We're going to take care of this early. And that's exactly what the Knicks did. Whitey, we spent some time. I said I wasn't going to do the starting lineup thing, and it's tough because Domantas Sabonis isn't playing.
You couldn't resist. I heard you dive right in.
I don't know what else
to pull you back.
I don't know what else to do.
And you said, "No, I'm going in."
I don't even want to, but I don't know what else. You just wait for Domas to get back, and we don't know when I guess we're supposed to get an update today at some point, but you can't keep losing games. I know they've been playing well, but they're not leaving with anything. They're losing games.
Are you saying they should change the starting lineup even before he gets back?
I don't think you can.
Okay.
So then you wait for it. And I guess you win that game, and then so you got to do the starters again. It's just a funny. Yeah, we have 18 games left, man.
They're pretty much, and I know Kyle had the numbers today from Basketball Reference. It looks like right now things can change. A lot of pizza left the box, but it looks like they're parked in 9th right now, and they could slide. Getting up to 8th, 7th, possible, but it's getting really, really tough.
83% chance that they will be in the 9-10.
Yeah, so that looks likely. Again. Now, if they don't, what do you say they're going to? No, they're likely to be there. That doesn't mean they're going to. That's the way it's trending right now.
Yeah, for me, and we went back and forth about the Nuggets game, and we didn't really get to chat about the Clippers game because
I'm still getting heat about that, saying I thought that was a bad loss. I'm still getting heat.
The Nuggets?
Yeah, from saying that was a bad loss.
But again,
your buddy Draper gave me a hard time yesterday.
I will, what are the positives? I can't. Yeah, if you need to find out what the positives are, just tune in because we'll find them. 30-point loss, we'll find them. Isaac Jones,
Devin Carter,
right? There's
perfect
a will,
pump.
Perfect pump. Where there's a will, there's a way. But I will say this, Whitey. With all that being said, my thought process is that is why last night we looked it up. They're 2-8 against the Knicks, their last 10 games. Okay. The one that's kind of just throwing everything off is Beam Team, because they beat everybody Beam Team season. So they won in 2023, the Kings did. But to me, the reason I was so upset about the Nuggets and Clippers is because honestly, I thought a stinker, you're going to have stinkers.
Yeah,
right?
Just the way the schedule gets so brutally tough.
Exactly.
They had a chance to grab them. They didn't. It's not like fire everybody, tear it down. But those were disappointing losses because you almost had them and you're going to need them.
Exactly. So last night's game, to me, I didn't expect them to lose by 30, and especially with no Jalen Brunson, but I knew you have to leave with something when you play well. Because the assumption that you're just going to keep playing well is not realistic. The Kings had been playing well, but they didn't leave with anything. They lost the games. So now that they finally have a stinker, it caught up to them, which actually makes sense. The Knicks had lost 3 straight. They were trying to get back on the right side of things. You're coming off the back-to-back. You are in overtime in LA. This is the most understandable win to me. But the reason it stings is because of what me and you have been saying. That's why you have to win. And if you don't win Denver and LA, that's fine. You can't drop both of those games because a stinker was coming, and that's what we saw last night.
What concerns me is this. And again, they look like they're parked in ninth, and that, we'll get to that when it arrives, and there's a chance they're out of that into the playoffs. So I'm not saying, oh, no, this is terrible. But let's face it, this is an older team, right? Not a young team. I think we can at least agree on that. Not a young team. Last night, understandably, all the games that they've been playing, it showed. Well, you got 2 days off before you play the Warriors. Then after you play the Warriors, you get 2 days off. Well, you play the Warriors and you play the Suns. Then you get 2 days off. Then you play the Grizzlies. Rest of the season, you don't get more than 1 day off between games the rest of the way. So that's tough. It's not just when you talk about the tough schedule, not you, but when anybody talks about the tough schedule, it's not just who you're playing, which is daunting enough. It's how many games you have to play in a short period.
Yeah, and, Kyle, he feels good about, not good, but, hey, 9 seed, they could win 2 games. The 9 seed is – basically the argument was whether or not the 9 seed is a death sentence, and it is to me. And I just don't see them winning 2 games in a row.
Well, I'm sure Kyle looked it up. What does history tell you? Is the 9 seed a death sentence historically?
I believe 1 or 2. The 10 seed has never made it. I know 1 9 seed made it, but maybe a second.
There you go. So not necessarily.
I mean, but you don't think that they would be able to pull it off?
What, coming out of the ninth? It depends on how they're playing, who's healthy with them and with the team they're playing. I couldn't sit there right now and say one way or the other. I wouldn't say right now there's no way.
Yeah. Did you hear we played the Doug Christie sound when he corrected Matt George when Matt George said, not running plays? And he said, well, we run plays.
Oh, I heard listen to that this morning and I missed that.
Yeah. So we spent some time with that because the narratives kind of get viewed a certain way based on when you're winning and losing. When they moved on from Mike, everything needed to be simplified. And it was. And they went on a crazy run. Great. Everything's simple. Now that they're losing, now it's, well, are things too simple? And Doug is kind of trying to stop the narrative that essentially we're just rolling the ball out there.
Well, the problem with that is, and it's nobody's fault. Doug mentioned it in the Nuggets game, I think it was, and Laravia mentioned it, we didn't execute our plays. And then he said, well, it's because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know where to stand.
Yeah.
And Doug said, you want to run some stuff, but not everybody knows all the plays yet.
And now people are getting injured.
Yeah.
So that's less time.
That's nobody's fault.
Well, what we were saying is this team, based on when they were put together, they are actually in November, which is why we're seeing November type losses.
Yeah.
Because their time frame is November, but
November without a camp.
Without a camp.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Without a camp. Well, I'm going to camp myself in my car and watch.
Senior segue right there.
That's right. And listen to the Drive Guys.
Sorry I had to drop the wife off today. It sounded like it kind of threw a wrench in your morning.
I hope she wasn't listening. Drive Guys up next. Thank you to Kyle. And thank you to all the callers, texters, Sack chatters. Drive Guys, Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson coming up next. I got Mike Breen
and Jerry Reynolds today.
And Jerry Reynolds. You don't want to miss that. Until tomorrow, let's get the bag like the beam.
Pump. Tommy.
Gotta go.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call Invent Help today. We have representatives nationwide